Ohayou gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rounds Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. We are pleased to bring you tonight Game 6 of the Japan series between the Tokyo Yakult Swallows and the Orix Buffaloes. We're first of all going to give you the starting lineups from the visitors from Osaka. That would be the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off and playing first base is number 31, Ario Oda. Hitting second and playing third base is number 6, Yumamune. And the 3 spot and getting the nod in center field tonight is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. And the cleanup spot and playing in left field is number 7, Masataka Yoshida. Batting fifth in right field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Batting sixth and at second base is number 3, Ryo Adachi. In the 7th spot and playing shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Batting eighth and doing the catching is Tori Fushimi. And batting ninth on the hill is Sachiya Yamazaki. And he is batting ninth, and they're going to be facing Yasuhiro Ogawa, who takes a regular season 8-8 record to the hill. He worked 153 in a third innings. He had 145 hits allowed. He gave up 50 runs, 48 earned. He walked 32 and struck out 91, and he had an ERA of 2.82. He was the game 1 starter for the Swallows, was Ogawa, and he's going to be facing Yamazaki tonight, Sachiya Yamazaki. And first of all, we're going to give you the lineup for the home team. Leading off and playing in center field is number 9, Yasutaka Shiomi. Batting second in left field is number 23, Nori Aoki. Batting third at second base is number 1, Tetsudo Yamada. And the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 55, Munetaka Murakami. Batting fifth and at first base is number 13, Jose Osuna. Batting in the 6th spot, doing the catching is number 27, Yuhei Nakamura. Batting in the 7th spot is the right fielder, Domingo Santana. Then it's Hideki Nagaoka at short, and batting ninth, it's Yasuhiro Ogawa. And we are now underway as the first pitch of the ball game was a fastball delivered from Ogawa to Oda, and that was fouled away to the first base side for a strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. I want to welcome those who are in the chat. And whether you're listening live or on delay, we appreciate y'all for being here. We'll get to some of those folks in just a moment, as there is a fastball that misses down to Oda, and the count is 1-1. Oda is 2 for 6 in the Japan series. He bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Ogawa, who gets the sign from his catcher, and he rocks into the windup and kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It is lined down the third base line, and the count is now 1-2. So our friend John Cardona is in the house tonight. We welcome you, John. We appreciate you for being here. He says, any predictions on this one? And my prediction is I think it is going to be a Swallows victory tonight. The Swallows are going to win tonight, and I think that the Buffaloes win tomorrow, and we're going to see an 8th game in the series, which hasn't happened in about 36 years, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lined into center field for a base hit. And Oda's aboard with a leadoff single here in the first inning, and that brings up Yuma Mune. For Yuma Mune, he is 4 for 21 on the series. He's got no homers and no RBIs. He's moved up and down the batting order. He gets the start at third base tonight. He has played some sparkling defense for the Buffaloes in the series. So Oda is the runner at first, and Mune steps to the plate. Curious to see how they're going to play this one out, if they're going to have Mune sacrifice or not. Will the Buffaloes try to get the momentum and put that runner into scoring position and try to move along? We'll find out here. So here comes the first offering to Mooney. They throw over to first base, and no sign of the left-handed hitting third baseman squaring the bunt. So no balls and no strikes here with the runner Oda at first. Oda establishes his lead. It's a brisk night for baseball in the capital, as the umpires are wearing their plate jacket. They have the jackets on the bases. The crowd is bundled up. It's a solid crowd at the Jinju Stadium tonight. I would be very surprised if there were any empty seats anywhere here. So Oda, the runner at first, he establishes his lead when he gets the sign from the third base coach. And now we're ready to go again here as Ogawa holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Mune definitely not showing any signs of wanting to bunt in this particular situation. Again, Oda establishing his lead, as Mune waiting here on the offering from Ogawa. He holds at the belt, the right-hander. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded to second. They go over to second for one. Back to first. Well, they're going to eke the ball at second base. It's going to be a fielder's choice. Yamada had to go deep into the 4-hole to make the play. A little surprised in some ways that he actually decided to go to a second base for the fielder's choice. But it is going to be a put out 4-6 on the fielder's choice for the first out of the inning. Yuma Mune is now the runner at first, and that will bring up the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa on the series, he is 7 for 23. He gets the start in center field tonight. He's played left field and first base in some of the other games, but they have been starved for offense from their center fielder. Not the best of series for Fukuda, or for that matter for Sano is combined. They are struggling at the plate, so he is getting the start in center field. And here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses out for ball one. The count is 1-0. Defensively for the Swallows tonight, from left to right, it's Noriaoki in left. The center fielder is Yasutaka Shiomi. The right fielder is Domingo Santana. Around the horn from first to third, it's Jose Osuna at first. Tetsuda Yamada is at second. Shortstop's Hideki Nagaoka, and the third baseman is Munetaka Murakami. And the battery is that of Ogawa and Yuhei Nakamura. And here's the offering. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now runs even to 1-1 on Kai Nakagawa. Nakagawa had himself a strong season this year for the Buffaloes. He was always up in the top 10 in hitting for most of the year, flirting with the 300 mark. As the right-hander Ogawa gets his sign from his catcher, and he works set to the belt. And instead, he fires over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Mune. Mune does have a stolen base in the series. He can run a little bit. He's not known for his wheels, but he can run as needed. As Nakagawa batting from the right side now steps back into the batter's box, ready to face the offering here from the right-hander Ogawa. He holds set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a slow breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. 61 miles an hour on the gun for that one. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Much of a floater. It almost, in some ways, was almost like a change piece, or the old-fashioned ephus pitch, the way it kind of fluttered up there a bit. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As the right-hander gets his sign from his catcher, again, he works set to the belt. And here comes the 1-2 offering to Nakagawa. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that is down, and Nakagawa waved at it and missed, and he is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 away here, and that brings up the left fielder, Masataka Yoshida. Well, Yoshida was the star of the last game of the series. It was in game number 5. He hit the 2-run sayonara home run in the 9th inning to walk it off for the Buffaloes. Our friend said, Tin Win says, Orix all the way tonight. Well, I have to tell you that, as we said at the outset, it was, in my opinion, I think that the Swallows, I'd give the edge to the Swallows in this one tonight. And as mentioned before, I do think that the Buffaloes behind Yoshinobu Yamamoto tomorrow are going to win that ball game. And we're going to see an 8th game in the series, something we haven't seen in a long time, since the 80s. And there's a fastball that is taken up and away for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. I believe it was 1986, if I remember correctly. The Saitama Seabu Lions took care of the Hiroshima Toyo Carp in 8 games. Yoshida batting from the left side. Had that 2-home run game in game 5 of the series. He's got 4 hits and 17 trips to the plate. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball, taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Tim says he's got 20K on this one. Boy, it's 20K. I wouldn't be putting on that one if you're looking for the Buffaloes. I'd be a little bit concerned. But that being said, they are playing good baseball right now, and they certainly have the momentum with them, winning the last 2 games in the series. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yoshida as he waits on the offering here from the right-hander Ogawa, who checks the sign. And he works to the set position. The left-handed hitting Yoshida waggles the bat. They set up inside for him, and it's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left field. Moving back on it is the shortstop, and coming in on it is the left fielder, but it is going to be the shortstop, Nagioka, who makes the catch. And that is going to do it here in the first inning for the Buffaloes. Well, the Buffaloes got a leadoff hit from Oda. They had no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they do strand a run around base. We are now through a half an inning. It is the Buffaloes no score and the Swallows coming to bat. Hang tight, everybody. We're right back to this in just a couple minutes. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom half of the first inning, and it'll be Yasutake Shiomi, Norioki, and Tetsuda Yamada to come to bat here for the Swallows. Our friend John Cardona asks, he says, percentage of your bankroll do you play on each wager, if you don't mind me asking? I'm not sure if he'll answer that if we've lost a couple people out of the stream. Do your betting units fluctuate? It's a great question. As people come in and they put their money down or whatever value it is, you can $20K, $10K, $5K, $50, whatever it might be. What is your percentage that you're going to be putting out onto the games? And in some ways, how are you going to cover some of your stuff? Also important, I'll tell you a couple interesting stories in a moment. As Shiomi steps to the plate, and the first pitch from Yamazaki is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. For Shiomi in the series, he's 8 for 20. He's got a homer and an RBI. As he waits here, and there is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Shiomi. Iowa Nick says, as a Brewers fan, he's got his eye on Domingo Santana. There is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. And interesting that you say that. Santana had a decent year, if I'm not mistaken, with the Brewers. I believe he hit almost 30 homers one year. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field, and this ball is going to get down for a base hit, as it is going to be fielded by the center fielder who came over to cut it off. And that was Nakagawa. As Masataka Yoshida was swung a little bit more to left field against the batter Shiomi. That's going to be a leadoff single here. So he is the runner at first. That is going to bring up the left fielder, Norioki. Speaking of ex-Brewers, Norioki spent some time in a Brewer uniform, if I'm not mistaken. He's 4 for 8 in the series. He had a 3-hit game in Game 5. He has no homers and 1 run batted in. The veteran is in the latter stages of his baseball career, one would have to think, because he's in his 40th year. So as John Cardona had asked the question a moment ago, he was talking about the percentage of the bankroll. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. There was a fellow here in the local area where I live. Every time the Vancouver Canucks have a decent team in the playoffs, he ran a promotion. He says if Vancouver won the cup, anybody who bought a hockey stick from them, they would basically, as here's the breaking ball, it swung on, it is grounded over to second. They flip it to the shortstop covering for 1, back to first. It's going to be a double play. It was a broken bat as Aoki got sawed off on the pitch. So he's going to ground into the double play 4-6-3. It erases Shiomi at second for the first out. And of course, Aoki gone for out number 2. And that is going to leave it up to the second baseman, Tetsudo Yamada. Iowa Nick says he was there for 3 seasons before moving on to the Kansas City Royals. That's correct. And then he also bounced around a little bit. I think he was with the Mets, the Astros, the Blue Jays, before coming back to Japan. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Yamada. So 1 ball and no strikes. As the lefty now kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. So I started to say about this fella in British Columbia. He had in Canada, he had a sporting goods store. He doesn't own it anymore. And what he would do is he would offer a promotion. As there's a breaking ball swung on, this ball is lifted into right field, camping out underneath it as the right fielder Sugimoto, he makes the catch, and that is going to do it. An unconventional 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the first inning, and I will get to that story when I return in just a moment. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 1 complete. It is a scoreline of 0-0 as we move to the second. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments as our friend Eris385 is in the house. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, Kansas City Royal fan. Be right back in just a few. Hang tight, everybody. We're glad you're with us tonight for some late night baseball. It is Game 6 of the Japan series. We are locked up at 0s. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat in the Buffaloes batting order. That's Yutaro Sugimoto, Ryo Adachi, and Kitaro Kobayashi. I started to tell the story about the fella in Vancouver, British Columbia, who had the sporting goods store. And what he used to do is, when the hockey team was pretty good, he used to make this promotion and say, if you bought a hockey stick in our store and you paid full value, if Vancouver wins the cup, we will give you your money back and you'll have your sticks for free. And so the promotion was huge because, especially on the good years, people would want to come and get the stick. And there's a first pitch that is a breaking ball floating up there at 60 miles an hour, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Sugimoto. Well, what ended up happening is he would always go down to Las Vegas and place a bet. So if the bet was 40-1 odds, you'd take a couple of $1,000s and slap it down. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. It is fielded neatly by the Swallows shortstop Nagioka, who throws to first. That's going to retire Sugimoto on a ground out 6-3, as he is retired for the first out of the inning, and that will bring up the second baseman Ryo Adachi. So basically, if it was 40-1 odds, he could go down and take a $2,000 bet. He would know exactly how much he would have to cover on his hockey sticks. Maybe it was $5,000 he would put down on 40-1 odds or whatever it would be. And usually he would cover himself. But the fact of the matter is he would actually take the money and bet on the Canucks, whatever the odds were, and he'd have it calculated out how many sticks he would have to sell. So he'd never actually have to lose the money. As there's a first pitch breaking ball that's upstairs for ball one, and the count is 1-0. But seeing that the Canucks never won the cup, and he almost had to pay out when the Boston Bruins took them to 7 games back in, I believe it was the 2010 season or 2011, around that time, as the breaking ball misses upstairs. The count's 2-0. What ends up happening is he ended up doing pretty well with his hockey stick sales, even though the Canucks didn't win. So he knew exactly how many sticks he'd have to be able to sell. And you figure if you sell 10,000 hockey sticks at $150 a shot, that's not a bad deal. And then whatever he would have to bet to cover would be minimal. There was a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's now 2-1 to Adachi. Adachi on the series is 2 for 6. He gets the start tonight at second base, does the veteran. They've had a couple of other players. Oda has started there, as has Nishino. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count's 2-2. Really haven't been settled on anybody playing in that spot. And I'm not really sure why. Adachi had a pretty solid season last year. He missed some time this year due to injury. So John says it's pretty cool. It's a way to be able to hedge your bet, so to speak, because you can leverage it. The promotion will be able to be covered by the bet that you have. You never actually lose the money. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed, and Adachi is gone for out number 2 here in the second inning. So 2 Buffaloes up and 2 Buffaloes away, and that will bring up Kitaro Kobayashi to the plate. Well, in the regular season, Kobayashi was a weak hitting from back-to-back years, a 220-ish hitter. And now here we are in the playoffs, and he's 7 for 20 in the Japan series. He's been swinging a hot stick. He hit 224 in the regular season this year. So the right-handed hitting shortstop waits on the first offering, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend Tim says Orix will be the champions this year. You might be right, but I don't know if it's going to come tonight or tomorrow night. I just get the feeling this is going to go the 8th game, and it's going to go an extra one. There is a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. John says minimizing risk with a great promotion, pretty smart. And I'll tell you even another piece to that story. As I said, the fella doesn't own the business anymore. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. So apparently the Vancouver Canuck hockey team, their lawyers had got a hold of, or trying to get a hold of the business to put a stop to it. And so even his wording was pretty good. He says, if Vancouver wins the cup, he never actually said the Canucks. He never said anything with the NHL. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow left field. Racing back on it and making a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch is the shortstop, Nagioka. And that is going to end the inning here as he robs Kobayashi of a base hit. And that will do it here on the top of the second inning. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 1.5. It is the Buffaloes no score and the Swallows no score. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back here in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being with us and listening in. Here's another one of our Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom half of the second inning, and it's going to be the heart of the Swallows batting order coming up to bat. It'll be Munetaka Murakami, Jose Osuna, and Yuhei Nakamura to get things going here for the Swallows in their half of the second inning. We have a fella, Iowa Nick says there's a Texas furniture business that does the same thing with the Mattress Mac, is betting on the Astros. Yeah, that's kind of a cool feature. That's one of the neat promotions that you can see people do that. I'm sure he's hedged his bet in a different way too, so he doesn't have to pay out a bunch of mattresses. So either way, he's probably got himself covered because he knows how many mattresses he's sold, and he's able to supply himself with a cover for that. One of the other things that we were talking about, promotions and interesting things, was there was a home run promotion where you do a Friday night home run promotion or something along those lines. As I'll finish this story in a moment, as Murakami steps to the plate. Yamazaki kicks and delivers a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0. Murakami is 4 for 20 on the series. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. He bats from the left side against the lefty Yamazaki, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. So you do this home run promotion where you want to fill up your seats. Everybody who gets the paid ticket to come into the game, if your stadium seats 5,000 people, it's, let's say, $20 a ticket. Well, you don't have to figure out that it's rocket science. That's $100,000 in gate receipts as a breaking ball misses down and away. And you say that you got a chance to get an opportunity to swing for $1 million. We're going to draw a name out of the hat. And so what ends up happening is a company like Lloyd's of London, usually insurance-wise, will pick that up. There's a fastball swung on it, is popped up on the right side. It is playable. Moving over underneath it is the first baseman, Oda. He's got to struggle with the wind, and he's going to haul that one in. It was not an easy play by any means by the first baseman, but he does make the catch, and that is going to retire Murakami for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, Jose Osuna. So just to finish that thought a little bit, the thought on that is that you look at the home run challenge. So the odds of getting somebody out of the stands to hit a home run on one swing of the bat are possibly pretty much impossible. There's a fastball that's swung on, or that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Osuna's been absolutely hot in this series. He's 10 for 22. He's got a homer and 5 RBIs. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And now Osuna's in the hole at 0-2. Defensively for the Buffaloes tonight, we didn't give you their defense. From left to right, in left field, it's Masataki Yoshida. The center field is Kai Nakagawa. And in right field, it is Yataro Sugimoto. As here comes the 0-2 offering. It's a fastball that's up and in, and that's going to run the count to 1-2. Around the horn from first to third, it's Ryo Oda at first. The second baseman's Ryo Adachi. The shortstop's Kitaro Kirbayashi, and Yuma Mune is at third. And the battery is of Yamazaki and Fushimi. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and counts now 2-2 to Osuna. So just the thought about the home run. And as we say, if you get an extra however many people in the seats, it's only going to cost you a couple of grand for the policy. And there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Osuna is gone on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 swallows up and 2 swallows down. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Yuhei Nakamura. John Cardona says that Tin Win there is sticking to a ABC type of progressive system. And at C, you always restart with the 3K that if you haven't won. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nakamura. Nakamura on the series is 5 for 22. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. He's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. He was the MVP of the 2021 Japan series as a breaking ball misses down, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Neither one of these 2 pitchers are overpowering tonight. Yamazaki really hasn't featured anything much more than 140 kilometers an hour. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded to short. Kobayashi fields it. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Nakagawa on a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning. And this game has got a lot of tempo and pace to it. We've got no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We are now through 2 complete. It is the Buffaloes no score and the Swallows no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the third inning when we return right after this. Appreciate you guys for all being with us. We do enjoy having you. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top of the third inning, and we're all locked up at zeros. It's going to be the 8 and 9 and 1 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Buffaloes. That means Tori Fushimi, Sachiya Yamazaki, and Ryo Oda to face the right-hander Yasuhiro Ogawa. I have a sneaking suspicion that both of these pitchers here, I'd be shocked to see either one of them around much past the 5th inning, as I think this game will be turned over to a battle of the bullpens. I will say this, they've been able to keep the hitters on both clubs off balance. It is a cool night in Tokyo. As we said, it is, when we look at the players, they are all bundled up. And they are, maybe not so much on the field, certainly in the dugouts and everywhere else. They are very, 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 the coaches are in their jackets. It is just the way it is looking right now. The temperature as we have it, they say it's 63 degrees. And it's going to get to an overnight low of 51. But there is some wind that is blowing at the Jinju Stadium. So here comes the first offering. It's a fastball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0. It's 140 kilometers. So that checks in at about 87 miles an hour. That's one of the faster pitches that we've seen Ogawa throw tonight. He is a soft tosser, but he is around the zone. So 1 ball and no strikes to Fushimi. Fushimi on the series is 2 for 9. He got the start in Game 2 and Game 3. Wakatsuki had the starts in the last couple of games, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball. Take it for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Curious to know what the thought process is. I don't know if they have necessarily a number 1 catcher for the Buffaloes, whether it be Fushimi or whether it be Wakatsuki. Either one have really taken the bull by the horns and run with it. There's a breaking ball that floats upstairs for a ball, and the count is now 2-1. Last pitch checked in at 63 miles an hour. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Fushimi. As the right-hander Ogawa holds set, and now he kicks and he delivers. It is a breaking ball at the Jinju Stadium, and that's kind of cool to see. You think of major league ballparks and where the bullpens are on the field and where they're not. There are not too many that are left where the bullpens are on the right and left field lines. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. It is a fastball that comes inside, and it is hit Fushimi on the wrist. And if you're going to get hit, I think the one you're going to want to get hit by is definitely this pitcher, Ogawa. They're going to take him off, and they're going to go have a look at him down the tunnel, as they do here. But Fushimi is going to get that treatment as he gets to walk it off. He's been hit by the pitch. So we're going to have just a little stoppage here. He's going down the tunnel. They'll take a peek at him, see if he can continue. So it was on the wrist, the left wrist. Maybe it was more the forearm just down from the wrist, but that is a difficult spot. You get hit there. There could be a lot of swelling in that spot, and he's very fortunate if there is no damage done. John Cardona says the home run promotion is ridiculous. It's been done a few places before. I know in the southern states, I want to say either at Mississippi State or LSU, is something that would be done in college. Same thing, you get the college kids coming out. $1 million is kind of an interesting piece. Maybe somebody's grandmother gets a chance to swing the bat. John says the half-court shot is more realistic. Yeah, you're probably right. The half-court shot, or even a 30-yard field goal or a 40-yard field goal, might be more realistic unless you got somebody's 80-year-old grandmother trying to leg it out. Our friend Tin Win says he thinks that the Buffaloes are going to score now. Well, there's a good chance for that when you get the leadoff guy on, whether it be a leadoff walk or hit batter or wherever it might be. It's generally speaking, they say it's about 50%. 50% of the time that the runners, the leadoff hitter, will be able to get up there and to score. Manager Suji has gone down the tunnel. I think they're checking on Fushimi. It's interesting to see what they have. Ogawa is still throwing pitches on the in-between here. So Tin thinks that the Buffaloes will get it. And well, as I say, it's pretty good. It's the statistic or the percentage becomes even higher if it was a leadoff double or if they get the second base with nobody out. I want to say it's something like 70 or 72%. If you get that runner at second base with nobody out, that's the type of odds you're going to have to score. So the right-hander Ogawa is still waiting here. It's nothing worse when your defense is having to stand out on the field while the opposition player is being looked at down the tunnel. The Buffaloes have their jackets on in the dugout, and I have to say, if you get a chance to see it, a very interesting look. It's almost brownish in color, and it's bluish down the sides. Our friend Troy's in the house tonight. Haven't seen Troy in a bit. Welcome, Troy. Appreciate you being here. Glad you could make it in for the Japanese final. So we'll be back on again tomorrow for Game 7, and if need be, Game 8 on Monday. That would be cracking if it was Game 8. Well, here comes Fushimi. It looks like he's going to carry on as the magic spray or the magic rub has done its job, and he is going to be taking his spot over at first base. So he's the runner at first base. It is the pitcher Yamazaki who is coming to the plate. And one would be thinking that in this situation, Yamazaki is going to be bunting. Yamazaki can swing the bat a little bit, as he has done some damage for the Buffaloes in the past. But sure enough, he has stepped up to the plate and he is already squaring to bunt. So they are in double play depth. They've got Murakami in at third, and the pitch is delivered, and it's bunted foul just on the first base side, and the count is quickly 0-1. Troy says he went to his first Pistons game last night at the Little Caesars Arena. For those of you who don't know, Troy is a Michigander. Well, it would have been a tough pill to swallow. It looked like they got blown out 136 to something to the Atlanta Hawks. The Pistons are going to be fun to watch this year because they got a lot of young talent. They really need another veteran in that lineup to stabilize it, and they really need another big guy. I don't know if Isaiah Stewart's going to be able to manage himself. But I hope you had a hot dog when you were there, because that hot dog was great when I went a few years ago when I saw the Red Wings play. So here comes the 0-1 offering as they kick and deliver, and it is bunted, and it is foul ball as he fields it in the right-handed batter's box, does the catcher Nakamura. And that is going to run the count to no balls and 2 strikes on Yamazaki. So I would have to say, if I had to give an advantage in this particular game, the advantage has got to swing to the home team because there's no DH tonight. The Central League does not play with the designated hitter as the Pacific League does. Troy asked me the question, who do I have winning this game tonight? I've got the Swallows taking this one tonight. I think tomorrow night, Yamamoto is going to come out and deliver for the Buffaloes. And we are going to see an 8th game for the first time in how many moons? Well, the last time it was the Saitama Sipu Lions taking care of the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. The last time, I believe that was 1986. So here we go. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. As the right-hander holds set, and now he delivers. It is bunted, and it is back to the pitcher, but it's a good one. He has to come off, does Ogawa to get it. They're going to advance Fushimi over to second base. So with 2 strikes, Yamazaki does the job. It's a sacrifice, a 1-4 for the first out of the inning. Fushimi is now in scoring position. At the top of the order, Ryo Oda is coming to the plate. So Troy asks the question, and it's a good question, how come there's 8 games? Well, the way it works is this, is the first 6 games of the series, including tonight's game, will not go any further than 12 innings. So with that being said, they can play extra innings, but they'll stop it after 12. The 7th game and onward, it'll be till the game is over. So if this game actually ends in a tie, we would have a 7th and an 8th game and potentially even a 9th game in the series. But a lot depends. There's a lot of ifs to that. So here comes the first offering to Oda, and it's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Oda is 1 for 1 tonight on the series. He's 3 for 7. He's been an offensive spark for the Buffaloes. They moved him into the top spot. They also gave him the nod at first base. Yumatongu, who was playing at first base, has played himself off of the field. He hadn't been swinging the bat. Not a lot of production from him. So 1 ball and no strikes as the righty kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted foul. It's hooked well into the seats down the left field line. The count goes even to 1-1. Troy says, is it the first to win 5 then? Nope, it's the first to win 4. So as we said, the game 2 of the series was a 3-3 tie. So each team has 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. So tonight being game 6, if there is a winner in this one, then they can close it out tomorrow night. If one team wins tonight and the other team wins tomorrow, then it will be an 8th game on Monday. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as Ogawa kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 1-2 to Oda. So in some ways, I kind of like it. I like the fact that they say, hey, the first 6 games, we're only going to cap it at 12 innings. A little bit more drama. Probably right now, if the Swallows win tonight and the Buffaloes win tomorrow, the people who are going to be cheering is going to be the ownership group. They get an extra gate receipt. Get to play the 8th game. And the 8th game would be played at the Jinju Stadium, home of the Swallows. If there was a tie tonight and the next 2 games are splits, then the 9th game would be played back in Osaka at the Kisara Dome. And here's the pitch. It is a split finger pitch that misses down. And the count is now 2-2 to Oda. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see the World Series game last night. I had obviously had to make some kids better, and we were providing our instruction, but I was keeping tabs on it. Unbelievable that the Astros blew a 5-0 lead. So it's crazy times in October. Boy, the Philadelphia Phillies, you got to tip your hat to them playing good baseball at the right time. I would have never thought it, and I would have never predicted it. So here comes the 2-2 pitch to Oda as Ogawa holds at the belt. He checks the runner and delivers. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed. And Oda is down on strikes. He's gone for out number 2. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Yuma Mune. Well, for Mune, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He is now 4 for 22 on the series. No homers and no RBIs. Mune has not been as productive as they would like, although defensively, we said he made some really nice plays in the last 3 games of this series. So the runner at second, Fushimi, he establishes his lead. Now Mune has asked for time at the plate as he feels Ogawa has taken up too much of his time. Should Mune get on, it'll be Kai Nakagawa who waits his turn on deck. So this part of the batting order, the top 3, there are no RBIs from the first, second, and third hitters. We'll see if that changes here. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to first. It is fielded by the first baseman, Ozuna. He's going to race to the bag, and he is going to retire Mune on a ground out to 3 for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in the top of the third. They got no runs, no hits, no errors. They did leave a runner aboard. We're now through 2.5. It is the Buffaloes no score, the Swallows no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Time for me to go get myself another drink of water because we're running dry over here. We're glad you guys are with us. We'll be back after this. Nothing as we're going to the bottom of the third. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the third inning, and it's going to be the bottom third of the batting order coming up for the Yakult Swallows. That means Domingo Santana, Hideki Nagioka, and Yasuhiro Ogawa, as they'll be facing the left-hander Sachiya Yamazaki. He's faced the minimum so far at 6. He did allow a leadoff single in the first inning to Yasutaka Shiomi, but he was retired on a double play ball. So here's the first offering to Santana. It's a fastball that misses down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. Only 21 pitches in the first 2 innings for the lefty from the Buffaloes. Been very effective so far tonight. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 1-1 to Santana. Santana 4 for 18 on the series. He's got a couple of homers and a couple of RBIs. Both solo shots. He has not done it with ducks on the pond. He has shown susceptibility to the breaking ball and a lack of discipline, which seems to have him down in the batting order. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right center field. Moving back on the warning track and leaping and making the catch is the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. What a catch by Nakagawa right up against the wall. He leaps and makes the grab. And that is going to retire Santana for the first out of the inning. Oh, he sent it a ways, but not quite deep enough. Had a good piece of hitting. The pitch was away. He went away with the pitch. Absolutely smoked that ball to right center field. But it was Nakagawa who leaps. We're going to get that replay of that. And he is, I don't know if he would have taken the home run away. It might have been off the top of the wall. But boy, oh boy, what a great catch by the center fielder for out number one. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Hideki Nagioka. And the first offering to Nagioka is a breaking ball that misses outside for ball one. Nagioka 3 for 19 in the series. Had a couple hits in the last game. So maybe he's starting to get things going as he takes a fastball for a called strike. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Our friend undrafted player in the house. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is now 1-2. He listens to France, of course. I would have thought it was a little early drinking a glass of red wine and listening to the live stream, but we're glad you're with us. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a breaking ball swung on and it's lined right back to the pitcher. And Yamazaki makes the catch, and that's going to retire Nagioka for the second out of the inning. So what a way here. He's gone for out number 2, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Yasuhiro Ogawa. For those of you in the stream who don't know our friend undrafted player, he hails from France. And if I'm not mistaken, it was earlier this year that he had written to the teams in the Japanese League, and I believe it was the Buffaloes, who were the ones who responded and sent him some merchandise, some stuff, some freebies. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. I don't know if you had any further success from anybody else. And here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count's 1-1. So pitcher versus pitcher here. Ogawa 0 for 1 in the series. He batted 136 during the year. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the lefty Yamazaki ready to deliver here. Here he kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that's down. I don't know if he fouled that one away or not. They're going to go down for some help. Looked like the ball was in the dirt, and Ogawa had checked his swing and had fouled it away. The first base umpire appealed down to, the home plate umpire appealed down to first, and I think that's what they've ruled it. Even though the ball was in the dirt, the ball was live. But no, they say it was a ball. It's 2-2. I don't know if that's correct or not. There's a breaking ball that swung on and fouled away. They've got 2-2 on the scoreboard. And we're going to stick with that right now, but I want to see that one back on the replay again. It looked like it was in the dirt and it bounced, and the batter played cricket with it. So we got 1 ball and 2 strikes. It is 1-2. It has been corrected. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, racing over into the corner, but it's going to slice into the netting just out of the reach of the right fielder, Yataro Sugimoto. And that is going to keep the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Should Ogawa find his way on, it'll be the top of the order, Shiomi, to come to bat. Yamazaki is giving them better than advertised pitching right there. There's the breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted foul down the left field line, and that's going to keep the count at 1-2. The pitcher Ogawa is definitely not getting cheated here. A drafted player said, I sent some fan pack mail requests to all the NPB teams, and only the Buffaloes sent him stuff back. There's a breaking ball down, and the count is now 2-2. So he is rooting for the Buffaloes. Interesting. I wonder if some of the teams will respond to you toward the end of the year that they'll give some stuff back, because usually toward the end of the year, they like to do those things. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 3-2, especially when it's the end of the year and all their giveaways and all the stuff, whatever leftover stuff is there, they want to get rid of, want to clear out. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, and there's a fastball that's taken down. It's going to be ball 4. Ogawa, the pitcher, versus the pitcher, has drawn himself a walk. And he is going to be the runner at first, and it's going to bring up the top of the order and Yasutaka Shiomi. Well, Shiomi on the series is now 9 for 21. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He was erased in the double play ball that Nori Aoki hit. So Shiomi is striding to the plate. He bats from the right side against the left-handed offerings of Yamazaki. And here comes the first offering as he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Shiomi has had himself a very productive series, being able to be the table setter at the top of the Swallows batting order. And here comes the 0-1 offering. It is a fastball that misses outside. The count's 1-1. He was bumped down earlier in the series. They had moved Yamada up in the top spot. Anything to get Yamada's bat going. Yamada has really struggled, other than that one game where he had that 3-run homer, and he had also had another hit. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right center field. Racing back on the warning track and making the grab is Nakagawa, and that is going to do it, as that is going to retire Shiomi for the third out of the inning. So a couple of loud hits here by the Swallows in their half of the inning. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, but there was a runner left aboard. We're now through 3 complete. It is the Buffaloes no score and the Swallows no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 4th inning when we return after this. Appreciate you guys all for listening in. Here is one of our Did You Knows. Welcome back, everybody. We are now cruising to the top of the 4th inning. It's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes. That means Kai Nakagawa, Masataki Yoshida, and Yutaro Sugimoto, the big bats in the order for the Buffaloes. Our friend Undrafted Player says that he also sent fan requests to the Major League Baseball teams. And he said that he received only the White Sox and the Rangers sent him something. So yeah, between 42 requests, only get 3. That's not a good return at all. Our friend Raphael is in the house. He says, or she says, maybe go Orix. I apologize if it's you're male or female, because I do know a Raphael who is a female. But traditionally, I believe Raphael is a male name. So regardless, we're glad you're with us. And so that's going to bring Kai Nakagawa to the plate. He was a busy man in the last half inning. He made the leaping grab up against the wall to take extra bases away from Domingo Santana. And then he made a nice running catch on the warning track to end the last half inning off the bat of Yasutaka Shiomi. So now he gets to swing the bat offensively. He is 7 for 20. Check that. I had him at 7 for 24. They've got him for 6 for 24 in the series, as he is 0 for 1 tonight. And here comes the first pitch from Ogawa, and it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. I'll go with the ball club's statistics. I was doing some barnyard mathematics, I guess I would say. I went back and looked at all the box scores. I may have missed 1 or 2 here and there. As here comes the pitch from Ogawa. It's a split figure pitch and misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As I felt early in this game, I have a feeling this is going to become a battle of the bullpens. And the bullpens may come sooner than later. As here comes the pitch. Oh, it is a slow breaking ball, and this ball is pelted into deep center field, moving over. Underneath it is Shiomi, and he's going to make the catch to retire his counterpart Nakagawa for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the left fielder, Masataka Yoshida. Ogawa really does that. He throws, I don't know if it's a palm ball. There's different ways you could throw a palm ball. That one looks like it's gripped like a changeup, but he really digs it back into his hand and it floats up to the plate. It almost looks like we're playing slow pitch or two pitch. That brings Masataka Yoshida to the plate. He's 4 for 18 in the series, with 2 big home runs in Game 5 the other night, including the sayonara home run to walk it off for the Buffaloes. And the first pitch from Ogawa is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Ogawa is not exactly a power arm. As we said, of what I've witnessed tonight, I think 142 kilometers was maybe the top pitch. So he's not even at 90 miles an hour. So here comes the 1-0 to Yoshida. He double pumps and delivers. There is another breaking ball upstairs. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Great night for baseball, though. As we said, players are bundled up a little bit. 63 degrees. We have the Tokyo temperature. Overnight low, they say, is going to be 49 degrees in some areas. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and that's 3-0 now to Yoshida. Yoshida definitely is a all-bat type of player. More I get to see him, I'm not a big fan of his arm. I don't like his defense. And his base running is a bit suspect, but he is undeniably one of the best hitters in the Japanese game. He'll train a bat for all that all day long. And here comes the 3-0 pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1. And I say that we've probably seen the Buffaloes play about 20 times this year, and watching Yoshida play, it's, as we said, his swinging the bat, not an issue. We've seen some base running shenanigans. He doesn't particularly run the fastest. Seen him make some Z-route plays in the outfield. His roots to the ball are a little bit dicey. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and now the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yoshida. But as we said, he's got the bat-to-ball skills that are second to none in the Pacific League. And I say that even though he finished second in batting to Go Matsumoto. Matsumoto did not have the power that Yoshida does, as Yoshida finished in the top 10 in home runs in the Pacific League. He waggles the bat, waiting here on the pitch from Ogawa, who double pumps and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into left field. Moving over on it is Nori Aoki. He's underneath it and makes the catch. And that is going to retire Yoshida for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and it's going to leave it all up to Yotaro Sugimoto. Pretty interesting so far. Both of these pitchers have only allowed 1 hit. And ironically, both of the hits were to the leadoff hitters in the ball game. It was Ryo Oda who led it off with a single and was raced on a fielder's choice for the Buffaloes. And Yasutaka Shiomi led off with a single and was erased in a double play. Nori Aoki grounded into it for the first 2 outs of the first inning. So Ogawa holds at the belt. Now he kicks and he delivers. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Sugimoto. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend Undrafted Player says, for as many games as we watch, should be a scout for the MLB teams. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count is 0-2. I actually know a couple of scouts over there in the Pacific Rim. The reality of it is there's a lot of teams that don't really invest a whole ton of scouting in that area. They may only have a couple of guys, 2 or 3 guys that are on the paid staff. Just like in Europe, some teams don't even scout Europe. Some teams will put 1 guy over there and won't just cover 1 country. They'll cover 12 countries. That's not necessarily a bad gig. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. Living in Europe and taking care of everybody. I don't know who's around still anymore. Used to come across the Met scout One time they had signed a Belgian kid, Thomas de Wolf, I think his name was. Mets had a couple of guys. They also had Kai Gronauer, German catcher, in their organization. Minnesota Twins had a presence over there as well. There is a breaking ball swung on, and that's fouled away. Count is 1-2 still to Sugimoto. Of course, the Twins had signed Max Kepler. Before Max Kepler, there was Tim Henkin-Johan, who was in the Twins organization. Also, they've had some players, some Czech and some German players have been in the Angels organization. Another team that has their presence there. But for a lot of teams, they spend their resources in Venezuela or the Dominican, Latin America. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even to 2-2. Our friend John Cardona asked the question. He says, who has the bullpen edge tonight? Well, to be honest with you, after the day off yesterday, I think both of the bullpens are fairly well rested in this series. And I would have to say probably, if I had to say the edge, my edge would probably just slightly on the needle go to the Buffaloes. As Ogawa steps off the rubber, and we're going to do it all over again here. I think that their bullpen needed that day off, and certainly being able to do it. Unfortunately for the Swallows the other night, it was Scott McGuff giving up that 2-run shot. But certainly the Buffaloes with Wagyu, Spack, and Hirano, and Biddle, and there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Sugimoto goes down on strikes for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in the top of the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now through 3.5. It is the Buffaloes no score, the Swallows no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with a call at the bottom of the fourth inning when we return. Appreciate you guys for listening in with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. As we move to the bottom of the fourth inning, we were talking about a little bit about scouting and a little bit about some of that stuff. And, you know, it's kind of interesting when you get into some of those things and you talk to guys that are working for the organizations. There's different types of scouting that goes on. There is professional scouting, where a lot of teams will not only be watching the NPB games and the guys that are there, guys that are in organized ball. So in other words, you also have scouts that are going out and watching the minor league teams of other teams play. And you're making evaluations on everybody else that's playing. So if another team gives up on somebody, they hit the waiver wire, you want an opportunity to maybe come and get them. So here comes the 2, 3, 4 hitters. It's going to be Nori Aoki, Tetsuda Yamada, and Munetaka Murakami to face the lefty Yamazaki. And the first pitch to Aoki is a breaking ball for a ball. The count is 1-0. And there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to first. Fielded by Oda. He's going to step on the bag, and that is going to retire Aoki. So 2 pitches and 1 gone. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Tetsuda Yamada. So as I was talking a little bit about the pro scouting, I had a friend of mine who was in one of the organizations, and I asked him about a former player that we had. We had a former player who had played for us at UBC. His name was Connor Lillis-White. And Lillis-White was with the Angels, and he got flipped straight up for Tommy LaStella, a trade with the Cubs. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And I said, hey, what do you think of this guy as a player or as a pitcher? And here comes the 0-1 offering as the lefty Yamazaki delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down in it, and the count's 1-1. And they went in, they took a look at their database, and all he said to me he says, we have this guy pitching in the big leagues one day. Well, unfortunately for Lillis-White, there's a breaking ball that misses outside. He ended up with the thoracic outlet syndrome. That's where there wasn't enough blood circulation in the arm, and you start to lose feeling in your fingertips. So can you imagine a 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball and you don't know where it's going because you can't feel it? There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's now 3-1 to Yamada. Anyways, he didn't go on to play in the big leagues. Of course, LaStella is still in the big leagues. He was with the San Francisco Giants last year. And so the Cubs ended up trading away a player that is still in the big leagues, and they didn't get the return on the pitcher they thought they were going to get because of injury. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away. It's going to be ball 4, and Yamada is going to be aboard with a base on balls, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Minetaka Murakami. So that's the one level of scouting, is the professional scouting, because you're evaluating everybody else's organizations and looking to see what they have, and is that somebody that you want to bring into yours, and at a variety of different levels who you're going to trade for, and so on and so forth. And then you have amateur scouting, where you've got to go out and you've got to evaluate the high school kids and the college kids, and you got to find out if there's guys that you want to draft or want to sign, and track and follow those guys. So you have different levels of scouting that are available. And so, of course, some teams, they do better in certain areas than others. Some teams are good at drafting and developing. Other teams are good at drafting, developing, and using that to trade their players for major league talent. There's a fastball that misses outside to Murakami, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. 1 gone here with Yamada at first, and Murakami standing in here on a 1-0 count. Comes the 50th pitch of the ball game from the lefty, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the right field line, but it's just hooked foul. Murakami hit that ball hard, but just hooked it to the right of the foul line, and that's going to run the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Murakami. And the runner at first is Yamada with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It is an entertaining and a close affair here. We'll see what this outcome is going to bring us tonight. Here comes the offering. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2 to Murakami. Who will be the difference makers in this one is yet to be seen. The chapters are still to be written at the Jinju Stadium in Tokyo. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the lefty holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses down. Boy, Fushimi sure didn't like that pitch. I have to say, I don't know if I liked it either. That might be some home cooking here. We're going to look at the replay on that. And it looks like the home plate umpire did get that one right. On first look, it looked like that they may have got that strike. A good pitch, though. Good job to receive that by the catcher, Hattori Fushimi. As Yamazaki flips it over to first, and diving back in time is Yamada. It's also interesting, too, about how some of these organizations and teams have changed in some ways. I'm watching the catcher, Fushimi catcher. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count's now 3-2. One of the young fellows who has caught for me for the last few years, we were talking as he has been going to different colleges and has gone to some of the showcases where he's interested in going to school. And there was one school that told him that they received a commitment from another player and they're not going to take him on, which wasn't his first choice anyway. But they want him to be able to catch off of one knee. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. So back-to-back walks here Murakami and Yamada have put runners at first and second with one gone, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jose Osuna. So I'm not a huge fan of catchers catching off of one knee. It's something that's a burr in my saddle that I've watched the last couple of years. I really think it restricts the movement, how they receive the ball. There's philosophical changes. As it looks like we're going to have some action now in the bullpen for the Buffaloes. It looks like it could be Honda, or is it Kondo getting up? We're going to see here in just a moment. I kind of like that the bullpen is on the field. I don't think it's Higa, but Higa is the kind of guy that could be in this situation. He could deduce a ground ball. So runner at second, Yamada. The runner at first is Murakami. Jose Osuna stepping to the plate. He is 10 for 23 on the series. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses down and in. The count is 1-0 to the former Pittsburgh Pirate. We got our friend Jason in the house here. He says, just stopping in to say hello. Welcome, Jason. Appreciate you for being here and popping in. We've got a nothing scoreline here on the bottom of the fourth inning. The Swallows are threatening with back-to-back walks to Yamada and Murakami. And it is 1 ball and no strikes. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to short. They go to second for 1, back to first. But it's not going to be in time. It's going to be a fielder's choice. As that is going to retire Murakami. It's a fielder's choice. As Osuna is going to reach base safely, 6-4 to retire Murakami for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Yuhei Nakamura. So Holly Cove, Code Red from Holly Cove says, shout me out. We welcome you for being here. Thanks for popping in. Nick says, you think you'll see more catchers doing that if leagues are using the automated strike zone? That's a great question, Iowa Nick. I wonder how the automated strike zone is going to affect how balls and strikes are called. Especially when you have umpires behind the plate. But certainly at college levels where that isn't the case, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into left field, racing to his right and sliding and making the catch is Masataka Yoshida, and that is going to do it here in the fourth inning as Nakamura hit the ball hard right to the glove of Yoshida. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 runners left the board. We're through 4. Nothing's the score. We'll be back in just a few, everybody. Hang tight.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna...
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the top of the 5th inning, and it is going to be Adachi, Kobayashi, and Fushimi, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Buffaloes to come to bat. Our friend Tin Win says, how do you like that? Orix all the way. Well, it's going to be interesting. As I said tonight, I think that I still give my edge to the Swallows here tonight. Although that needle could switch over when it becomes the battle of the bullpens, but I still will have to say I'm going to stand by my word. I do believe the Buffaloes are going to win tomorrow night's game, as we said at the outset, because they're going to send their ace to the hill. And I think we're going to have an 8th game in this series, and that would be something for an 8th game in the Japan series. So here comes the first offering to Ryo Adachi, and it is a slow breaking ball at 60 miles an hour, which drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Adachi 2 for 7 in the series, batting .286, getting the start tonight at second base. And here's the offering. It is a split finger pitch that's waved at and missed in the dirt. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Adachi is batting from the right side here against the right-hander Ogawa. He has a 5-pitch mix on his hands here. Not sure exactly everything that he throws, as my Japanese script reading is not the best. Here comes a fastball that misses down and in. The count is 1-2 now to Adachi. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander Ogawa holding at the belt. Now he kicks. He does a double pump and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Adachi stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 1, as he is retired here in the 5th inning, 1 up and 1 away. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Kotaro Kobayashi. Well, not only do I think that in this game that we're going to see the Swallows win, I'll also say this. I have a feeling it's just got everything written all over it. We're going to see extra innings in this one. So if you're got a chance, go put on your pot of coffee or your tea, because we're going to be here for a while. There's a breaking ball taken for called strike. The count is 0-1 to Kobayashi. Kobayashi was robbed of a base hit his first time up. It was a great play by the shortstop, who had to go into left field, who dove and made an over-the-shoulder catch to retire his counterpart. And there was a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. Kobayashi on the series is 7 for 21. He's really been swinging a hot stick. The 20-year-old shortstop has got a lot of baseball left. It seems like he's already been around for a number of years. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line. And the count is now 1-2 to Kobayashi. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right-hander Ogawa ready to go back at it again. He holds at center at the belt. And now he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball's lined into center field. It's going to be a base hit. That's going to be the second hit of the ball game for the Buffaloes. The first one since the leadoff hitter Oda was able to accomplish the feat to begin the ball game, and that is going to bring up the catcher Tori Fushimi. Really good piece of hitting there by Kobayashi, who stayed inside the ball and hit that single into center field. I'd be curious to see exactly what's going to happen here. Fushimi stepping up to the plate. If he was able to get on, I wonder if the Buffalo's got to think about at this point in time to pinch hit Yamazaki. It's already premium in this one. So Fushimi steps to the plate. He was hit by the pitch his first time up. He's batting .222 on the series. He's 2 for 9. Our friend Troy says the Phillies have great momentum going right now in the World Series. 100% they do. That's unbelievable. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. The Phillies have been playing good ball. And tonight they played lucky ball, 5-0 down to come back and to win the ball game. I definitely would not have predicted that, especially with Justin Verlander on the mound at that point. So 1 ball and no strikes to Fushimi. Kobayashi establishes his lead over at first base. Ogawa holds set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung through and missed. And the count is now 1-1. Be curious to see, as I said, how long both of these starting pitchers will stay in the ball game for. Ogawa is pitching very, very well right now. He's been able to change speeds effectively, keeping the Buffalo's hitters off balance. I'm sure that both of these clubs will be excited to get to the bullpens because at least it'll be somebody different because both the starters have been effective tonight. Yamazaki has also had some defensive help. So here's the 1-1. It's a slow breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into deep center field. Drifting back on it and making the catch is the center fielder Shiomi, and that is going to retire Fushimi for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the pitcher, Sachiya Yamazaki. Well, for Yamazaki, officially 0 for 0 tonight, as he had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. And he had the sacrifice bunt with 2 strikes on him. So he bats here, ready to face the offering from the right-hander Ogawa, who holds set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on it, is grounded to the first baseman. And did it go foul or not? Let's take a look at that one there. Osuna had to dive. Looks like they held up a foul ball, or is that going to be it? We're going to see that one again. Or maybe we're not. I don't know if that's going to be the third out of the inning or not. If Osuna made the play, they got into a commercial here. I'm not sure what Yamazaki's doing. Nope, that's a foul ball. So no balls and 1 strike. Thought we're going to go to commercial here. They're going to replays. It wasn't even the replay on that one. Come on, guys. Let's get that figured out. So no balls and 1 strike as the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a slow breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into shallow right center field. Coming over on it is Shiomi. He makes the grab, and that is going to do it. He was a busy man this inning, was Shiomi. He made 2 catches and got 2 of the 3 outs. No runs in the inning. There was a hit by Kobayashi. There were no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 4.5. It is the Swallows and the Buffaloes locked up at zeros. We'll be back in just a few at the bottom of the 5th. Glad you guys could be with us here late night or early morning, depending upon where you're at. We'll be right back after this in just a couple. Would you like to support Last Raps Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan. But we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Raps Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising now to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it is that time of the game where sometimes we get a lot of people that jump in and out because in the first 5 innings, there is the betting lines that are coming to an end here. I'm not sure what the over-under for the first 5 was, but I'm not sure that I would have had a 0-0 ball game at this point going into the bottom of the 5th inning. As the pitcher, Yamazaki, has been effective in his innings of work for the Buffaloes, as has the starter Ogawa for the Swallows. So both have been locked in a pitcher's duel. It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That means Domingo Santana, Hideki Inagioka, and Yasuhiro Ogawa to face the left-hander here. Santana tonight 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his first trip up. And the first offering is a fastball that moves Santana off the plate for ball 1. The count is 1-0. So Santana 0 for 1 tonight. 4 for 19 on the series. Waits here on the offering from the lefty Yamazaki. It's a fastball that misses up and away for ball 2, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As we said, neither starting pitcher overpowering. There are 2 pitchers up in the Buffalo pen right now. I didn't get to see who it was. One looked like Utagawa. There's a breaking ball swung at and fouled away, and the count is now 2-1 to Santana. Santana was way out in front of that one. He got it off the end of the bat and nubbed it foul. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So the lefty kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, and it's just going to slice foul. Santana just off the end of the bat there. If that would have stayed fair, it would have probably been extra bases for the big fella. Now that's going to run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Swallows in the last half inning had the pull-up meeting. It was a meeting of the minds. Maybe to try to stimulate something offensively. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Santana, as he waits here on the offering from the lefty Yamazaki, who holds in the sent position and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on, grounded to short. It is fielded by Kirbiashi, who throws to first, and that is going to retire Santana and a ground out 6-3 for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop Hideki Nagioka. Well, Nagioka tonight is 0 for 1. He had lined it back to the pitcher his last time up. On the series, he is 3 for 20. He had a pair of hits in the last ball game. But only had 1 hit entering that last affair. So here comes the first offering from Yamazaki. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Either pitcher is particularly overpowering. As we said, Ogawa has barely seen, I don't even know if he's touched 90 miles an hour. There's a breaking ball dropping in for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Yeah, Iowa Nick says about that last at bat to Santana, there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-2. Yeah, certainly the 2-1 pitch that he was out in front of, and then he lined that one down the right field line. If it's only 2 or 3 inches to the left, that's probably a double. But he was able to keep the hitter off balance. There's a breaking ball down to the dirt. It swung on and missed. Good block by Fushimi. He picks it up and throws to first. And Nagioka is gone for the second out of the inning, 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the pitcher, Yasuhiro Ogawa. So this ball game here today has been going quickly. Nothing ball game. Both of the pitchers are doing their parts. You know, Ogawa had some good swings the last time. I wouldn't be surprised if he put a charge into something here. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Why do I have a feeling that the pitcher is going to do some damage here? Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball, waved at and missed. Count is 0-2. Well, he's not going to do it with those type of swings on the breaking balls. Last time Ogawa was at the plate, he had a 9-pitch battle before drawing a walk. Well, now Yamazaki's way ahead at 0-2. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 1-2. That was the 69th pitch of the ball game for the big lefty. And here comes pitch number 70 on the way. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball, waved at and missed. And Ogawa's down on strikes. He is out number 3, and that is going to do it here, as that is 71 pitches through the first 5 innings for Yamazaki. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're now through 5 complete. We've got goose eggs. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We're going to go get ourselves a hot cup of tea. We will be back as we're just going to put this on loop for a little bit here. It is what we like to call the Japanese halftime. They do extend it a little bit more on the in-between because that's exactly what they do in Japan. Japan halftime baseball. We'll be back after we go get ourselves a hot cup of tea. return with you here in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the Buffaloes top of the order coming to bat here in the top of the sixth inning. Ryo Oda Yumamune and Kai Nakagawa, as they will be facing the right-hander Yasuhiro Ogawa, as both the starting pitchers are locked up in a nothing duel here through 5 innings. As we said before, I'm curious to see what the Lishan Yamazaki is going to be. Yamazaki is, in his 5 innings of work, only 71 pitches. He's been able to keep the hitters off balance for the Swallows. The Buffaloes against Ogawa in his innings of work, he has struck out 5. He has only allowed a couple of hits to this point. And on the other side, Yamazaki, by my notes, has 3 strikeouts. And he's only allowed the 1 hit, and that was to start the ball game to Shiomi. So that is where we stand right now, as both of the pitchers are doing their jobs, as we are here in Game 6. Game 7 goes tomorrow night. And then, of course, there is the if necessary, and that would be on Monday, should the Swallows and the Buffaloes extend this to the 8th game of the series. So that is what we have here. So the line score has got a lot of zeros in it at the front and at the back end. It's been a defensively well-played game as well. So Oda, Mune, and Nakagawa here to face the right-hander Ogawa, who does a double pump, and then delivers. It's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up down the right field line. Moving over on it is Osuna, but he's going to watch it drift into the seats. That's going to make the count 0-1 strike. So Oda is 1 for 2 tonight. He is 3 for 8 in the series. He's having himself a fine series. He has pushed his way into the lineup, in the starting lineup. As we said before, it was the Yumatongu was getting the start at first base, but he hasn't been swinging a good bat. There's a split finger pitch and misses down. They appeal to the first base umpire, but they say he didn't go, and that's going to run the count to 1-1 strike. So 1-1 strike to Oda. The right-hander Ogawa, when he delivers, sometimes he does a double kick, like right now, and he delivers that pitch. It's a split finger that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. He doesn't do it all the time, though, and sometimes you'll see it, and it's to throw the hitters off of their timing and their rhythm. He mixes it up a little bit. We always say hitting is about timing and rhythm, and pitching is always about disrupting the timing and rhythm of the hitter. And hence why they do the double clutch and the double kick. Makes it difficult for the hitters to keep them off balance. It is something that is very traditional to the Asian game. And there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 strikes. Oda digging in, ready to get facing the delivery from Ogawa. This is pitch number 71 for Ogawa now. He's just been a little bit more efficient than his counterpart tonight, as he was at 66 through the 5 innings. There's a slow breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded through the 6 hole into left field. Oda's got his second hit of the night, the only hitter that has base hits off of Ogawa, so he's got his second hit, and that's going to bring up Yuma Mune. I don't know what they're going to do with Mune this time, but the last time he was up, as far as I'm concerned, I'd be bunting right here and right now. They got to move him over into second to take the cracks to bring him in. Our friend Tin Win, who is in here tonight, has been saying Buffaloes all the way. Well, this is their opportunity to get him into scoring position, and he got 3-4 to do the damage to bring him home. So no excuse here. Mune should be bunting, I would have to think, here to give him that lead. We'll see if our thoughts are correct. Right now, they throw over to first base, and Mune shows no signs of squaring to bunt. Mune tonight is 0 for 2. He grounded into that fielder's choice back in the first inning, and he grounded to first his last time up. 4 for 23 on the series. That's another reason why I'd have him squaring around right here to bunt. 4 for 23. Says it all. So here we go. Here comes the first offering to Mune as the righty holds set. He kicks and delivers. Now he does square to bunt. He gets it down. It's a good one. It's back to the pitcher Ogawa. He throws to first, and Mune does his job. It's going to be a sacrifice. 1-4 on the putout. It's going to advance Oda over to second base. And that is going to bring up the center fielder Kai Nakagawa. Well, Nakagawa is hunting for his first RBI of the series. He is 6 for 25. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's struck out, and he has flown out to center field. And looming on deck is the hero of Game 5, Masataka Yoshida. Well, they're pretty much playing Nakagawa straight away. And one would have to think they'd be a little shallow to try to throw out the runner at the plate if it was a base hit, but they don't seem to be in shallow here against Nakagawa. So Ogawa holds set at the belt. He checks the runner at second base. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up. It is playable. Circling around it is the catcher, who's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Nakagawa on the first pitch he sees. Boy, oh boy, if you're the Buffaloes, you're not got to be happy with that. Terrible situation there. And now we've got I don't know if it's the manager or the pitching coach coming out. It looks like it's the pitching coach. He's going to have a word with his right-hander on the mound. I'm sure they're going to discuss how they want to face Masataka Yoshida, or if they do want to face him. I would not be surprised if they held the four fingers up and put him on. They got the open base. You just have to ask the San Diego Padres about that when they pitched to Bryce Harper and he deposited a two-run shot into the stands in the last series for the Phillies. They had the open base, put him on, and make the next guy do the damage. And in the case of Yataro Sugimoto, he's not exactly swinging a hot stick. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They've held the four fingers up, and Masataka Yoshida is going to get himself an intentional walk. And that is going to put him at first base. And now they're going to bring Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. Well, Sugimoto is 5 for 21 in the series. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. He bats here with 2 out in the 6th inning. So you got to tip your hat to the manager of the Swallows. I think that's the right thing to do. I don't know if it'll backfire on him or not. Our friend Tin Win, who was in here earlier, might be hoping that's the case. Iowa Nick says LaRussa would walk him. I'd walk him too. So here we go. Here comes the first offering to Sugimoto. It's a pitch that's way outside. They throw down to first base. And getting back in time is Yoshida. That's exactly what I talk about Masataka Yoshida. Yoshida's base running is always a little bit sketchy. He has a big grin on his face. Our friend Chad Kenny is in the house here tonight. Welcome, Chad. We appreciate you for stopping in here. Holding it down with us. So 1 ball and no strikes to Sugimoto. As the right-hander Ogawa ready to go again. He holds at the belt. He checks the runner at second, and now he delivers. It's a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Sugimoto, as we mentioned before, 0 for 2 tonight, grounded to short and has struck out. So here comes the offering as the right-hander holds set. He checks the runner at second and delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. Chad says the only place he can find for his drunk live bets to figure out what is going on in this game. Well, we're glad you could be here. While you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The color of the subscribe button has changed, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. Went from red to black. We have a brand new looking one, not just on our site, right across YouTube. So the red has been retired. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Sugimoto. The right-hander Ogawa holds at the belt. He checks the runner over at second, which is Oda, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. It's down for a base hit. Picking it up is Santana, rounding third and heading home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is cut off, and it's a base hit, single, and an RBI for Sugimoto. He's got himself a single. Rounding over to third is Yoshida, and that is going to score Oda, and the Buffaloes now have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 6th inning, as they have now opened the scoring in this one. So maybe it backfired, but you know what? I think I would do the same thing, pitch to Sugimoto. But I have to say that pitch from Ogawa got way too much of the plate, as he was able to stay inside, go the other way. The throw in from Santana, and he did not have a chance. So Sugimoto is celebrating over at first base, and rightfully so, as that is a clutch base knock here to open up the scoring for the Buffaloes. Well, that's going to bring Ryo Adachi to the plate. Adachi is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out both times up, once swinging and once looking. So he's got a variety of each under his belt, so to speak. So Sugimoto is the runner at first base. Adachi holds the bat out away from his body. And here's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Adachi 2 for 8 now on the series. I was criticizing Yoshida for his base running, But on that last base hit by Sugimoto, that was good of him to go first to third. They would have had to cut it off and maybe try to take a shot at him at third base. As, of course, the ball was going to the plate. That's what you want to do. You want that guy to go all the way around to third. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Adachi as Ogawa delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count's now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, action in the Buffalo bullpen, and it is Utagawa who is up and throwing. Or maybe we should say he's throwing up in the bullpen. Either way, he's getting loose, looking like he's ready to come into the next half inning. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as Ogawa holds set at the belt, and now he steps off and fakes a throw over to first base. Getting back in time is Sugimoto. We'll have to see if they got any shenanigans going on. Our friend Tin Win says what he said. He figures the Buffaloes are going to win this one here tonight. If they win this one tonight, they'll be in the driver's seat for tomorrow night and with their ace on the mound. Of course, Utagawa came in Game 4. He was absolutely outstanding in that ball game. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on it. Is lined down the left field line, just foul. And just past the glove of Murakami. That's going to run the count to 1-2. If that ball would have stayed fair, it would have got them another run. But that had to be foul by probably about 6 or 8 inches. That might have been Adachi's best chance there. So 2 gone here. The runner at third is Yoshida. The runner at first is Sugimoto. There's 1 run on the board in this inning from the Buffaloes, as Ryo Oda was brought home on a single by Sugimoto. Adachi waggling the bat. And here comes the 1-2 offering from Ogawa. As he holds set at the belt, he checks the runners. And now he kicks and fires. It's a split finger pitch missing down in the dirt. The count now goes to 2-2. This by far is the most that Ogawa has had to work. He's up to 81 pitches now here in the 6th. We keep seeing the Buffaloes bullpen, but no sign of action right now in the Swallows pen. Curious to see how this one may play out tonight and what they decide how they're going to manage their pen tomorrow. I would think that maybe the way Ogawa has pitched tonight, he might have another inning left in him, or at least to start the inning. But I don't know if I would let him see the order for the 4th time. So here comes the 2-2 pitch to Adachi. Bean Soup is in the house, and he says, come on, Swallows. Here's the pitch. It is a split-figure pitch. It misses down, and that's going to run the count to 3-2. Well, that's going to mean Sugimoto is going to be on the run. As soon as the pitch is delivered to the plate, Yoshida, obviously the runner at third, he doesn't have to go anywhere. So keep your eye on the big fellow over at first base. They've moved Osuna now in behind him. He's tucked in his pocket. Runner at first is that Sugimoto. Third is Yoshida. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Adachi. As he's waggling the bat. A right-hander Ogawa waiting here. And why he hasn't called time, I don't know. He comes set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, as a reminder, we will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night. So don't forget to hit that notification button. But we will be back on for the 7th game of the series no matter what. So hopefully you guys will be there to listen in with us. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Adachi. He's battled all the way back to force the payoff pitch here from Ogawa. There goes the runner, Sugimoto. It's a fastball that just misses outside, and Adachi's going to get ball 4. That is going to load the bases as Sugimoto goes to second, and that will bring up the shortstop, Kataro Kobayashi. So decision time for the Swallows manager is they're going to send the catcher out to the mound. They've already had one visit this inning. And that visit was when Yoshida was coming to the plate that they intentionally walked him, but Ogawa has now got the bases loaded with 2 out. And Kentaro Kobayashi striding to the plate. Kobayashi tonight is 1 for 2, 8 for 22 in the series. He's been absolutely fantastic at the plate for the Buffaloes, and they get a chance here to blow it open with 2 gone. Chad says he's got Orix on money line, but he's hedged the Swallows 1.5 run line in case they have another late storm of runs. You got to be careful there, that's for sure. So the Buffaloes have a stampede on the base pass. And here comes the first offering to Kobayashi. It's a slow breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line. There is action in the Swallows bullpen. For as much as we've been getting the updates on the bullpen of the Buffaloes, we're yet to see who is up and throwing in the Swallows pen. So no balls and 1 strike to Kobayashi, as the right-hander Ogawa holds center the belt. He checks the runners, and now he delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-1. That might have been the hardest pitch we've seen all night from Ogawa. That was at 90 miles an hour. He's been working in the upper 80s. But that one there definitely was one of the harder pitches. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kobayashi. Runner at third, Yoshida. The runner at second, Sugimoto. Adachi, the runner at first. Here comes the 1-1. As Ogawa checks the runners. And now he kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted foul down the left field line. So Kobayashi's going line to line with his foul balls. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Well, the Buffaloes have the 1-0 lead here. And we're going to be, as I said, it's going to be curious to see how this game is going to play out, because they're going to try to seal it off with their better bullpen arms, one would have to think. And the way it's looking, I'd be shocked to see Yamazaki come in for the 6th inning. But I guess we'll wait and see, because they've kept Utagawa up and throwing. So here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball that's taken for a called third strike. Kobayashi stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3, and the Buffaloes strand the bases loaded here in the 6th inning. They got a run in the inning, though, on a pair of hits. There were no errors, and 3 Buffaloes left the board. We're now through 5.5. It is the Buffaloes 1 and the Swallows no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call. The bottom of the 6th inning when we return after this. We appreciate you guys for hanging out here with us tonight. I'll be right back in a few. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to catch up with a couple of people here in the chat. Our friend Troy says, what are you going to stream when baseball season ends? Well, to be honest with you, Troy, we're going to take some time off here. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of streaming until the World Baseball Classic. We're going to try to call some games in that one there in March. Meaningful baseball in March would be a lot of fun. We'll try to call some of those ones. We'll might do a few things. We're going to try to do a couple giveaways on the stream. We'll do some updates and stuff. And for the most part, we'll continue with our shorts. I've got some long form videos that I want to get done. I want to get up onto the stream, some informational type things, which are a little shift of what we're doing. We are going to start moving our channel a little bit more toward the wager stuff, especially with the live calls. I looked at it today, and we called between the NPB games and Major League games. We called about 147 games this year, which is kind of fun. And I would expect that next year we'll probably increase that. So here we go into the bottom of the sixth inning. It is Utagawa on in relief, and the first pitch he delivers is a fastball to Shiomi for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Utagawa, the hard-throwing right-hander, delivers a breaking ball that swung on and fouled away, and the count quickly goes to 0-2. Our friend Bean Soup says, does anybody know how to watch the game? We can give you some hints. We can't put the links in the chat here because that would get us into trouble with YouTube and with the NPB. So I'll give you some things that you're going to have to sleuth around. There's a split finger pitch in the dirt. Shiomi checks his swing, but he can't hold up enough as the home plate umpire says he's gone around. And he is retired for the first out of the inning. So Utagawa was striking batters out like crazy in the last ball game that he appeared in, which would have been game 4 of the series. Has retired the first batter he has faced here. So there's a couple of ways that you can do it. The first thing is you could go to the old NPB Reddit page, and there's a whole list of links of where you can find games that are being shown online. That is the first thing you'd have to do as Nori Aoki steps to the plate. I'll give you the other one in a second. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. The other thing you can do, which a lot of people do here, is they'll go and stream the game live and sync it up to our commentary, because we do it in English. Is on a site called Live QQ. As there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. It depends on what country you're in, but most people can get the Live QQ stream. And if you can do that, that's where you can find it. Now, it's all in Chinese characters, so you're going to have to do some searching. As there's a breaking ball swung on, and it is line foul down the right field line, just past the diving first baseman, Ryo Oda. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Aoki. Aoki 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded into the double play and grounded to first his 2 trips to the plate. 4 for 10 in the series. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a split-finger pitch missing down. And the count is now 2-2. So those are your best bets there, Bean Soup. And sometimes we have some folks that are in the chat that maybe be able to help you a little bit further, but I know our good friend Alexander Leggett, we haven't seen him today. Not that we don't want to see Alexander, but he is obviously challenged because of work. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Aoki. Aoki to be followed by Tetsuda Yamada here in the 6th inning. So Utagawa has had the count run full against him, and here comes the 3-2 pitch. And he delivers a fastball. It's swung on. It's grounded over to second. Adachi fields it on the backhand. He throws to first. What a great defensive play by the second baseman. He had to go up the middle to make the backhand play. He threw off a one leg, and he had enough strength in that to be able to retire Aoki on a ground out 4-3, as he is out for out number 2, and that's going to leave it up to the second baseman, Tetsuda Yamada. You got to tip your hat to Adachi, making the most of his opportunity. Maybe not necessarily at the plate, but definitely tight in the field. So that's going to bring up to the plate Tetsuda Yamada. Yamada is 0 for 1 tonight. He's flown out to right field and he has walked. He is 2 for 20 on the series. He's yet to figure it out here against the Buffalo pitching. And there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Yamada. As the right-hander Utagawa kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yamada waiting on the offering here from the right-hander who kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that misses down, but the home plate umpire goes up with the right hand saying that Yamada went around too far. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Utagawa wasting no time. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 2-2. I have to say this Yuki Utagawa is very impressive. Had himself a fine first-year campaign with the Buffaloes. As he holds at the chest, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a split-finger pitch that misses down. They appeal over to first base, but they say Yamada didn't go. Oh boy, that might be a home cooking call right there to run the count to 3-2. I'd like to see that one again on the replay. But the Swallows get the break there to take it to 3-2. And now it's going to be the payoff pitch coming up here to the second baseman of the Swallows. So Utagawa holds set at the belt. And now he kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on it. Has popped up. But it's going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate. And that's going to keep the count at 3-2. I have to say, very interesting to see where they're positioning the third baseman, Yuma Mune. He is rather close to the line at third base, or in the kind of a no doubles defense. I want to keep the hitter Yamada off of second base. So here comes the 3-2. As Utagawa kicks and delivers, it's a split finger pitch and misses down. It's going to be ball 4. As he's going to draw himself a 2-out walk. That's not a good thing because now you got Munetaka Murakami coming to the plate. The man who had 56 home runs this year will be stepping to the dish. It's kind of neat. The Jinju Stadium, they did a pan back. And if you ever get to Tokyo, you're ever by the stadium, they've got these fields that are adjacent to the stadium, and they're all lit up right now. And that's where the adults will go play rubber ball. They play, I understand 90% of baseball played in Japan is played using the rubber ball, the Kenko ball. And so the fields are all lit up there at night. I don't know if anybody's actually playing. They're probably watching the ball game. And there's a first pitch fastball that just misses inside for ball 1. And the count is 1-0 to Murakami. Last pitch checked in at 93 miles an hour on the gun. So 1 ball and no strikes. As the left-handed hitting third baseman waiting on the offering here from Utagawa. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. The count is 1-1. I don't know if Murakami necessarily liked that. Actually, I checked that back. It was a fastball that caught the inside corner. It was good downward tilt on the pitch by Utagawa. Like it had a lot of downward trajectory. So here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and now the count is 1-2. They've really pounded it inside to Murakami here in this at-bat. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As the left-handed hitting Murakami waiting here on the offering from the righty Utagawa, who holds set. And now he delivers. It is a split-finger pitch missing down, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jose Osuna waits his turn on deck. Should Murakami be able to find his way on base? So here comes the 2-2 offering as the right-hander gets his sign from his catcher, Fushimi. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the runner Yamada will be on the move here. And one would think an extra base hit may be able to cash a run here. So Murakami waggling the bat, digs himself back in the box. And here comes the pitch from the right-hander. As Utagawa holds set. There goes the runner. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses way upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. And all of a sudden, Utagawa, who got the first 2 outs of the inning, has got himself in a bit of a situation here. They're going to bring the pitching coach out to have a word with him. Jose Osuna is going to be coming up to the plate. And he is the RBI leader for the team right now. And that's somebody you don't want to face. Osuna is batting. He's 10 for 24 in the series. He's got a homer and 5 RBIs. And the Swallows have something brewing here with 2 outs. And as I said, Utagawa is one of those guys that we were watching here and figuring, boy, he's going to be cruising through this after getting the first 2 outs. But the wheels have fallen off a little bit. He's now thrown 22 pitches in the inning. I also have to wonder if Utagawa will be turned to again in the next inning. The other night, game 4 of the series, he went an inning and 2/3. But one might think he's only a one and done here tonight. And that's another decision you have to make, is how many pitches is he going to throw? Because will it make him ineligible for tomorrow night? I'm not saying ineligible, but certainly that they wouldn't consider using him. And I would say anything really over 25 pitches, you're going to have to think about maybe not using them tomorrow. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner to Osuna, and Osuna doesn't like the call. He's shaking his head, as the home plate umpire said so as he went up with the right hand. So no balls and 1 strike to Osuna. Utagawa gets his sign from Fushimi, and he now kicks and delivers. There's a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. And now Osuna is in the hole at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. So here we go with the 0-2 pitch. Utagawa here holds. They go with the high heat. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And Osuna is retired on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Swallows in the 6th. They threaten, but they don't score. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We're now through 6 complete innings. It is the Buffaloes 1 and the Swallows no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning. The Buffaloes are leading the Swallows 1-0. The only run of the ball game came in the 6th inning when it was a Ria Oda leadoff single. He was sacrificed over to second base by Yumamune, and then with 2 out, Masataka Yoshida was intentionally walked, and then Yatara Sugimoto had an RBI single to drive home Oda with the first and only run of the ball game. And that is where we stand right now. 1-0 for the Buffaloes. It is going to be Tori Fushimi, the pitcher spot in Utagawa, and Ryo Oda slated to come to bat. And one would have to think that Utagawa's day will be done, as the pitcher's spot will come up and we'll see what they have to offer. As that is where it is. We had the right-hander Ogawa was on the bump in the last half inning, and we're going to see if the Swallows are staying with him, but the answer to that is unequivocally no. They are going to the bullpen, so we are going to have ourselves a pitching change. We'll get to that here in just a moment. It is a right-hander coming in to relieve, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses down for ball one. The count is 1-0. The right-hander is Kazawa. This is Fumi Kazawa. We've seen him earlier in the series. So 1 ball and no strikes to Fushimi. As the right-handed rookie delivers a fastball, take it for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Fumi Kazawa went to Keio University. The right-hander is 24 years old. He was the first pick in the 2020 draft. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is now 1-2 to Fushimi. So this is now a battle of the bullpens. And I have to say, I would have predicted the battle of the bullpens in this game maybe a little bit sooner than what it was, and I would have predicted it with some runs on the board. There's only one so far for the Buffaloes. So here comes the pitch. That is a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side, and the count's going to remain at 1-2 to the Buffaloes catcher. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it does look like that Utagawa's day is done, and it is Hirano, the right-hander, up and throwing for the Buffaloes. So it looks like with all intention and purpose, he'll be in the bottom of the 7th inning. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. The only thing in question is who's going to be the pinch hitter for Utagawa. Will it be Tio Okada? Will it be Yumatangu? I guess only time is going to tell. So the right-hander holds set. And here comes the pitch from Kazawa. It's a fastball that is swung on and missed. It's almost a half swing by Fushimi, and he's going to be retired for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the pinch hitter in this situation. We'll see what they're going to bring in. I think for my money, I would be thinking it would be Tio Okada. I don't know if I see Okada on the game sheet. This is number 9, Noguchi. This is Tomoya Noguchi into pinch hit. Handed stick, the rookie at the plate. Makes a first pitch fastball low for ball one. The count is 1-0. Noguchi during the regular season hit .226. He had a homer and 6 runs batted in. He had 167 at-bats in 54 games. The 23-year-old was the second pick in the 2021 draft from Kansai University. As he swings at that pitch and fouls it away, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Noguchi waiting on the offering here from Kaizawa. There's a pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down and in. Counts now 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2-1 here to Noguchi as the right-hander holds at the chest, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of the center fielder, Shiomi. He cuts it off and throws it into the infield. And Noguchi gets a base knock here with one gone, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Ryo Oda. Nice Hockey 77 says that was a dirty pitch. Yeah, on Fushimi, that was a tough pitch. You handcuffed him. That's the one that you were referring to. A little bit behind on my chat there. So Ryo Oda steps to the plate. He is 2 for 3 tonight. He has 2 of the 5 Buffalo hits. He's raised his average to .444 in the Japan series. He is now 4 for 9. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Based on Oda's reaction, I don't think he appreciated the call. So no balls and 1 strike to Oda. Lots of zeros here for the Swallows. Buffaloes are clinging to the 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 7th. And somehow I just don't feel comfortable with the 1-0 lead right now. There's a fastball swung on its check swing, fouled away there by Oda as it skips behind the catcher, behind home plate. So no balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander Kaizawa ready to go at it again here. The runner at first establishing his lead is Noguchi. He was the pinch hitter. Establishes his lead as the right-hander Kaizawa holds to the set position. Now he kicks and he fires. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner. Count is 1-2. That was a good pitch by Kaizawa. Nice Hockey 77 says, I can see why Kaizawa was the first pick. He's got good stuff. I got an interesting story on Kaizawa. He had pitched here in British Columbia a couple of years ago, right before the pandemic in 2019. He was with Keio University, and University of Tokyo had come over to play Sacramento State and University of British Columbia in a 4-game in a little tournament type series at the end of August. The fastball swung on and fouled away by Oda. And he pitched, I believe, twice in that series, and he was dominant. In fact, I think if I remember correctly, and I'd have to go back and take a look at this, I believe he was the pitcher who no-hit the University of British Columbia, but I think UBC won the game 1-0. As I said, Sacramento State and University of Tokyo, or Tokyo University, were the other 2 schools involved. There's a fastball swung on it, has popped up into shallow right center field. Moving back on it is Yamada, and he makes an over-the-shoulder juggling catch. A nice play there by Yamada. That is going to retire Oda for the 2nd out of the inning. It's going to keep the pinch hitter Noguchi over at first, and that's going to bring up Yumamune. And I'd be curious to see, just as a side thought to this, if they're going to move Kaizawa into the starting rotation or not. I like his, to our point of our friend Ice Hockey 77, I could see why he was a first rate. He's got good stuff. He's got a nice clean delivery. I wonder if they could thrust him into the rotation and give him the ball every 6 days as they do in Japan. Or maybe it's every 7 days because they pitch their pitchers 1 day a week. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses up and away for ball 1 to Mune. Mune 0 for 2 tonight, has bounced into a fielder's choice and grounded to first. He also had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. 4 for 23 on the series. Left-handed hitting third baseman waggles his bat. He's ready here on the offering from Kaizawa, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count runs even at 1-1. As we say, we want to thank everybody for jumping in here with us tonight. Well, I guess I would say this morning if you're on the east coast of Canada and the United States. On the west coast, it is approaching 5 a.m. in the morning. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1 to Mooney. So 2 balls and 1 strike. We said the temperature at game time was about 63 degrees Fahrenheit. It is now dipped into the 50s. 59 Fahrenheit right now. Overnight low is going to be down to 49 in Tokyo. So here comes the 2-1 pitch to Mooney, and they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Noguchi. Mooney is had his struggles here in the series. 271 on the season did the left-handed hitting third baseman who Kaizawa kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. The runner was on the move, but that's all for naught. It's going to be a ground out 4-3. They had put Noguchi in motion, but that is going to retire Mooney, and it looks like we're going to have ourselves another pitching change. The way it was going, you would have to think it will be Hirano. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is going to be Hirano coming in to pitch. We'll be back with all the information in just a couple of moments. Appreciate you guys for hanging in with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Tim says the West Coast, it's so early. Yeah, it is now. It's early. It's getting to be early in the morning. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 said it's very chilly in Tokyo tonight. Yeah, you could see that the crowd is bundled up. Certainly even the coaches and the players in the dugouts that aren't playing are heavily dressed. So that 59 degrees might feel like it's a little bit cooler than what it really is. So we can see the breath of the players. It's going to get down to 49, they say, for the overnight low. It is going to be coming up for the Swallows in this half inning. It's going to be Nakamura, Santana, and Nagioka, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, but they're going to be facing Hirano, who is coming in to pitch. We're going to get you the specs on him in just a moment. He has closed a lot of games this year for the Buffaloes. He's getting an opportunity to be in the setup role here, as one would expect Jacob Waguspak to be coming in here at the end of this one. So Yoshi Hirano, the former Diamondback and Mariner, making another appearance here in the playoffs. During the regular season, he was 3-2. He had 28 saves. He worked 46 innings, allowed 25 hits, 12 walks, 42 strikeouts, and he had an ERA of 1.57. So Hirano in relief. Third pitcher used tonight by the Buffaloes. And the first pitch is a breaking ball. I'll take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Nakamura. Nakamura tonight 0 for 2. He has grounded to short and has flown out to left field in his 2 trips to the plate. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that just misses a bit low. They appeal over to the first base umpire, and they say he didn't go. Boy, that pitch looked pretty good at first glance by Hirano. And here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to the right side. Adachi fields it as he moves to his right. He throws to first, and that is going to retire the leadoff hitter Nakamura on a ground out, 6-3 for the first out of the inning. So that is 1 up and 1 away. And that will bring up the right fielder Domingo Santana. Our friend Iowa Nick says he's getting an RBI, calling it. So if he's getting an RBI, that's going to mean that he's going to hit a solo home run. And he's got the capability to do it. All of his RBIs have come on these solo shots. He takes a first pitch fastball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Made the decision that I'm going to get back to Tokyo in August of next year. I was thinking about getting away at Christmas this year. Head over to Tokyo for a good solid 2.5 weeks. As there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1. We'll do it at the end of August. And then come when the new season schedule is released, I'm going to plot out the games that I'm going to try to get to. I'm going to try to go see all 5 stadiums in and around the Tokyo area. Probably do the Nagoya as well. There's a split finger pitch missing down and away. The only thing that I'm a little bit hesitant, no, not hesitant, but I always the one stadium I'd like to be able to see is in Tohoku, to see the Golden Eagles with that Ferris wheel in left. It just looks like it's a neat place to see a game. But if I decide not to do that, it'll be the Koshin, the Kyocera Dome, and the stadium that I'd get to in Hiroshima to see the Carp. That last pitch was a split finger pitch that missed down to Santana. That runs the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big fella. Batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Hirano, who kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch and misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say he didn't go. Runs the count now to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Santana. There's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and it is Hideki Nagioka who waits his turn on deck. So here comes the payoff pitch. Hirano kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And Santana is gone on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning. So our friend Iowa Nick in the chat is not going to get that RBI from Santana here. That's 2 up and 2 away. That's going to bring up the shortstop Hideki Nagioka. So the Swallows are starting to run out of outs here. They've got 7 outs left in this one. The same could be said the other night. We got Mick in the house now too. About time, Mick. We're wondering when you're going to check in here. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is quickly 1-0. Our friend Iowa Nick says Kishinev sounds Ostov. The Mazda Stadium is nice. Costco is next door, so if you drive and you have an account, they'll validate your parking with a purchase. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. I don't think I'll be driving at all when I'm in Japan. I didn't do it the last time. I took the trains and public transit, and I'll probably lean on that again this time. It's Koshin, the Koshin Stadium. I've already been to Osaka, so I've been in the off season, seen the Kyocera and seen the Koshin from the outside as that pitch is fouled away, and the count is now 1-2. So we'll look to be able to get to the stadiums on the inside on that particular journey. So the other piece to that is I'd like to see how the games will line up. And there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Nagioka is down on strikes for out number 3, and Hirano comes in and does the job. He retires aside 1-2-3, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Be curious to see if he's going to come up for another inning. We're not sure about that one, but the Buffaloes are going to be making a pitching change. We're going to be going to the top of the 8th. That is 1-0. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. Hang tight. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 8th after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Mick asked the question if we caught the game today, and unfortunately I didn't. I wasn't able to catch that game between the Astros and the Phillies. I was keeping up with it casually online, but I was not able to catch up to that. Some things that we had to do here. I had to make some kids better. So this is going to bring in Ishiyama to pitch here as he is on in relief. We've seen him in the past. It's going to be the third pitcher used tonight by the Swallows. So Ishiyama on in relief. And he is going to be facing the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the batting order for the Buffaloes. That means it's going to be Kai Nakagawa, Masataka Yoshida, and Yotaro Sugimoto. And the first pitch delivered to Nakagawa is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nakagawa tonight 0 for 3. Strikeout, flown to center, and popped to the catcher. And his 3 trips to the plate. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to the second baseman, Yamada. He fields it and throws to first, and that is going to retire Nakagawa for the first out of the inning on a ground out, 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Masataka Yoshida. Well, for Yoshida tonight, he is 0 for 2. He's popped to short, he has flown to left, and he was intentionally walked his last time up. Yoshida steps in from the left side, ready on the first offering here from the right-hander Ishiyama, who kicks and delivers a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Our friend Troy has jumped back in. How's the game been going? Well, it's been pretty much a 1-0 affair and not a whole ton of traffic on the base paths in this one. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up into shallow center field. Moving back on it is Yamada. He's underneath it, and he makes the catch. That is going to be out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it up to Yotaro Sugimoto. Well, this game in some ways has a eerie feeling like the game did in Game 5, except the Buffaloes were able to come back and walk it off by Masataka Yoshida. We're here. The Buffaloes are clinging to a 1-0 lead. I don't know if that 1-0 lead is going to hold up. This game could have extra innings wrapped up all over it. There's a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Can you imagine if this game went 12 innings tonight? Then you definitely know there's going to be a Game 8 on Monday. That would be pretty amazing stuff. Here comes the 0-1 offering as the righty kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Sugimoto. One would have to think that this will be the only inning for Ishiyama because the pitcher's spot is due up next. And here's the 1-1. It's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Buffaloes right fielder. Pitch there looked like it may have been down a little bit, but it was too close to take. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. And Sugimoto is retired on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in the top of the 8th inning. And it looks like they are going to have a pitching change as well, as that looks like it could be another Yamazaki coming in. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. And the top of the 8th, we are now moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a 1-0 lead for the Buffaloes. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you being here. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom of the eighth inning. It is the pitcher's spot in the batting order. Then the top of the order is Shiomi and Aoki to come to bat. And I do believe we are going to see a pitching change. It'll be the second Yamazaki of the night. The Sachiro Yamazaki that is going to be appearing for the Buffaloes as he is completing his warm-up toss as the hard-throwing right-hander who can bring it up to 100 miles an hour is going to be coming on in relief. That is exactly who has completed his warm-up tosses. He was the 6th overall pick in the 2016 draft. In his second season at the big league or the NPB level, he was 0-2 in the regular season, appeared in 15 games, 36 innings pitched, allowed 30 hits, 10 walks, struck out 29. He had an ERA of an even 3. So he is on here in relief. And we'll get you the Swallows hitter in just a moment. As the first pitch is delivered, it is a fastball on the inside corner. Taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Pinch hitter for the Swallows. This is Miyamoto. Entering the ball game. We've seen him in the outfield a couple of times in the series. The fastball swung on it, has popped up, and it's going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate. Tashi Miyamoto on here to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. So curious to see if they may do a double switch. I'll have to wait and see in the next half inning. So he is in the hole at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And then there'll be Shiomi and Aoki to follow here. So Yamazaki holds Sen at the chest. And he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Miyamoto goes down looking for out number 1. And that's going to bring up the top of the order in Shiomi. Not sure what Miyamoto was looking for or expecting. You got a power arm on the mound, and he's coming at you with old-fashioned heat. And it was a great pitch there delivered to the catcher, and that is going to retire. Miyamoto for the first out of the inning. Our friend Mick says he would have hit if all the picks, including the Lions and the Bulls, would have hit. Lions lost against the Blue Bombers. There's a breaking ball that misses down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. I don't really follow the CFL too much, so I can't help you on that, even though they play in my neighborhood. My friend Ice Hockey said it was a great pitch that froze him. Absolutely. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-1. Yeah, very impressed with Yamazaki, or this Yamazaki, Sachiro Yamazaki. I've got a chance to see him a couple of times, and I don't really know how tall he is. I'd have to go take a look. I mean, I could tell you in centimeters. There's a fastball for a called strike. He's throwing right to the knees. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. But very, very impressive stuff. Only his second year in the NPB. And here comes the 1-2. There's a fastball swung on and missed. He blew that one by him for out number 2 here in the inning. 2 batters up and 2 gone via the strikeout. And that will bring up the left fielder, Nori Aoki. Yamazaki absolutely overpowering there. I wonder kind of what they would have in mind for him. I don't know, as I said, how tall he is. After looking at Ogawa and a couple of the others, he might not be the giant I think he is. Maybe 6'2", 6'3". So here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Aoki. Aoki tonight is 0 for 3. He's grounded out all 3 times, including a double play. So no balls and 1 strike as the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down. The count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Aoki batting from the left side against the hard-throwing right-hander Yamazaki, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side, and the count goes now to 1-2. It's one of the things tonight I was looking at. I remember last night we were saying in the series, or the other night in the series, about the lack of 1-2-3 innings. Well, right now there's 4 1-2-3 innings that the Swallows have been retired, and possibly even a fifth. There's a fastball that just misses down and away, and the count is now 2-2. On the flip side of the ledger, the Buffaloes have been retired in order 3 times tonight. Makes a huge difference. Nothing worse than getting the first 2 outs and then watching your pitcher give up a hit or walk a guy or hit a guy. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count's now 3-2, but we're moving into that situation right now. Can Yamazaki deliver something here? It's going to be able to retire Nori Aoki. So here comes the 3-2 offering. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to the right side. Adachi fields it. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Aoki on a ground out 4-3. And that is going to do it here in the 8th inning for the Swallows. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 8 complete. It is a 1-0 lead for the Buffaloes. Gentlemen, we're going, and ladies, we're going into the deep water as we're going to the 9th inning here. Buffaloes are coming to bat with a 1-0 lead. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. Our friend Tim says he hasn't watched much of the NPB this year. How long is the end of the season to the beginning? Pretty much the same length of time as Major League Baseball. But we'll be back and tie that up for you a little tighter when we return. Right back after this. One nothing for the Buffaloes, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with the call at the top of the 9th inning. Hang tight. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. Slated to come to bat for the Buffaloes will be Ryo Adachi, Kotaro Kobayashi, and Tori Fushimi. They do have the right-hander Jacob Waguespack up and throwing to the Buffaloes. And the way things are going, we anticipate to see him in the bottom of the 9th inning to try to close out the game. It is Scott McGuff who is on the hill right now for the Swallows, as he is taking over in a non-save situation. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. The count is 1-0 to Ryo Adachi. Adachi, Kobayashi, and Fushimi here. As McGuff delivers a fastball that just misses off the outside corner again, and the count is now 2-0. Of course, McGuff was the pitcher the other night who served up that 2-run shot of the Sayonara home run to Masataka Yoshida to close out the ball game. And it looks like we may have a substitution in left field. We'll have to get that for you in just a couple moments. There is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 2-1. Ice Hockey 77 says, great talent in the bullpen for both teams. Some impressive young players. Yeah, both teams, their bullpens have been pretty decent. There's no doubt about it. Back to Tim's question in the last half inning. He says, how long to the end of from the beginning of the season to the end? Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on it as line over the head of the second baseman into right field. And Adachi is going to be aboard with a base hit single. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Kotaro Kobayashi. Well, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Kobayashi here. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He is 8 for 23 on the series, having himself a very fine Japan series. But if it were me, I've got him bunting over in this situation, and they're going to try to maybe add that extra run. So Adachi is over at first. So just to answer your question, Tim, the season starts in late March, and obviously they're going to wrap it up here either tomorrow or maybe Monday, depending upon how long this goes. Well, Kobayashi is already squaring to bunt. As the right-hander McGuff flips it over to first base and diving back in time as the runner Adachi. Our friend Ice Hockey says, you got to play for the bunt here. As much as the batter is showing bunt, not sure why the third baseman isn't playing closer. Murakami, he's right on sort of the edge of the grass there. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1 ball and no strikes to Kobayashi. I have to say that's one of the drawbacks of Murakami. I don't really like the way he plays his position. More so because I don't like his footwork. I'd be curious to see if he was a guy that came to Major League Baseball, if they would keep him at third base. I think if I was him, I'd be picking up the first baseman's mitt. So 1 ball and no strikes it is to Kobayashi. Here is the pitch. It's a fastball. It's bunted. It's down the first baseline. It's a good one. It is fielded by McGuff, and he's thrown it into the corner. It's just like the other night. He's fired the ball into the right field corner. Rounding third and heading home is Adachi. The throw is not in time. And unbelievable. Here we go again. That's the second time in as many games that the pitcher McGuff has thrown the ball into the right field corner. It is an error on the pitcher, and that has increased the Buffaloes' lead to 2-0. And Kobayashi is all the way around to third base. And it's now 2-0 here for the Buffaloes. That was a routine bunt that should have been fielded. And for those of you who know me, know I like the Detroit Tigers. It's reminiscent of the 2006 World Series where the Tigers could not field their positions, or the Tiger pitchers could not field their positions, and were firing balls all over the place. And that's what that looks like right here as McGuff has thrown it into the corner, and now it's a 2-0 lead for the Buffaloes. And our friend Tin Win has said that it's going to be easy money for him. Well, I think you're still going to want to be biting your nails in the bottom of the inning. It's not over yet, but you've got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Swallows. I wouldn't be surprised here. I wonder if we're going to see something crazy, or are we going to see a squeeze play here? Here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on it. It's popped up over on the right side. It's playable. Osuna gets over there, and he makes the catch, and Fushimi is gone. Not a very good swing, first pitch that he gets, as he pops it out to the first baseman for the first out of the inning, and it's supposed to bring the pitcher spot up. We're going to see who the Buffaloes are going to bring to bat here in this situation. The Buffaloes are going to send up to the plate. This is going to be one of their other second basemen. It's going to be Masahiro Nishino riding to the plate here. So Nishino is getting his opportunity to pinch hit. So Nishino steps in on the left side. The infield is in on the green turf, and there's a fastball that misses inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes it is. 2-0 lead here for the Buffaloes. Our friend Iowa Nick says the Swallows are going to have to make some moves with the ace on the horizon. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 1-1 I have to say that they're going to be facing Yoshinobu Yamamoto tomorrow night to try to bring it home. Mick says, I remember you called the game when Orix were down 3-1 and they hit that bomb in the ninth. Oh, yeah, it was the walk-off the other night. Anything can happen. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into right field. Moving over to his right is Santana. He makes the catch. Tagging at third and heading home is Kobayashi. And he is going to score the third run of the ball game. A sacrifice fly by Nishino does the job. Sacrifice tonight. He gets himself an RBI. Kobayashi comes in with the third run for the Buffaloes. Yeah, I know our friend John Cardona says I don't like to use the L word. But I have to say I feel a lot more comfortable if I was in Tim's shoes with a 3-run lead than I would with a 2-run lead going to the ninth inning. John said I wouldn't say it or type it. That's the way I've always been. Yeah, you never want to start getting ahead of yourself. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that this is outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So this is Ryo Oda at the plate. He is 2 for 4 tonight, 4 for 10 on the series. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1-1 to Oda. So the right-hander holds set at the belt. Now he kicks and delivers, does McGuff, and it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's now 2-1. I have to say it's a little bit disappointing for McGuff because, to be fair, he's had himself a great season this year. A lot of fans are going to remember the back-to-back wild throws down the right field line in tonight's game and in the other game. There's a fastball that misses down and in. The count's now 3-1 to Oda. So 3-1 strike. And Yumamune waits his turn on deck should Oda be able to extend the inning. So here comes the 3-1 as McGuff delivers a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 3-2. But as we said, or as I said, you've got 3, 4, and 5 to come to bat for the Swallows in their next half. And Waggy's back on the hill, most likely. So here's the 3-2 offering as the righty McGuff kicks and delivers. The fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 3-2. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 says the World Series is going to have a hard time living up to the Japan Series. He's got a point. The Japan Series has been absolutely fantastic this year. It's been great baseball. And you got to like it when it's great ball. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, but it's going to slice into the seats. It's going to keep the count at 3-2. You don't always get that every year with the ball games when they're this close or this exciting. The Swallows still have the advantage of being at home. If you would have asked me when I watched the Buffaloes playing at home, boy, it looked like the Swallows were, after winning the third game of the series, it was going to be all them. There is a fastball swung on and fouled away again, and that's going to keep the count at 3-2 to Oda. So 3-2. Will be an opportunity for the Buffaloes to close this one out tomorrow. So McGuff holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses low. It's going to be ball 4 to Oda. Oh boy, that was a pretty close pitch, but Oda is going to get himself aboard with a walk. That's the third time tonight he's been on base. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Yuma Mune. Well, for Mune, he is officially 0 for 3 tonight. He has bounced into a fielder's choice. He's grounded to first, grounded to second, and he had a sacrifice bunt. And right now, the pitching coach is on the mound, and that's going to be the end of the night for Scott McGuff, as he is going to be pulled in this one here. I don't know if that's necessarily the worst decision, because take a look at his pitch count, and he is still available for tomorrow night if they decide to want to go to him. But we're going to have a break here as we have a pitching change on the way. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're just getting some of the highlights, and as you watch it, and I was talking the other night, and some of the people were in listening, and I said we did a study we were doing about how many times that the pitchers are involved in a play in a ball game. A few years ago, we did it with a Little League program, and we were just looking at it, saying how many times after the strikeouts. So I'm going to get to this in just a moment, as we do have the pitching change on our hand here. It's a lefty in the ball game. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses down for ball 1. And the count is 1-0. This is Kubo, who is in the game, number 61, as he is on in relief of McGuff. So Takuma Kubo on in relief, the third-year player. Had a 2.70 ERA. He's here to face Yuma Mune. The count is quickly 1-0. The pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count's now at 2-0. Nothing worse than a left-hander who can't get a left-hander out. So that is Kubo has fallen behind in the count at 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes, as Mune here is waiting on the offering from the lefty here. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and Nakamura took the worst of that one behind the plate. It's going to run the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. So if I look at the example that I was starting to say, that how many times tonight has a pitcher been involved in a play, what might be a little bit on the light side. Currently the Buffaloes have struck out 8 times in this ball game as a team. So they account for almost a third of the outs. That means 18 other outs are going to have to be accounted for somehow. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count is now 2-2. Well, my point being tonight that there has been twice that the pitcher has been involved in that has resulted in a putout. The error by the pitcher should have been the third out of the innings. So when you think about it, 3 out of the 18 outs would have, or potentially 3 plays would have been to retire the side. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined past the glove of the shortstop into left field. And the Buffaloes are going to play station-to-station baseball as Mune is going to get himself a base hit. Oda is going to advance to second on the single by Mune. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. So Mune has to feel good about that. He's now 1 for 4 on the evening, 5 for 25 on the series. He can really use his bat to get going, do the Buffaloes. But my point being is that we've done a lot of games this year, and when we look at the stats, and you say, how many times has the pitcher been involved in a play? And it's generally, rule of thumb is pretty much the same. It's usually about 23 to 26% of the time pitchers are involved in the play. And here comes the offering now to the right-handed hitting Nakagawa, and it's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Nakagawa tonight is 0 for 4. He has grounded to second. He's popped to the catcher. He's flown to center, and he has struck out. And on top of it, he's made a couple of beautiful plays in the outfield. So here comes the 1 ball and no strike pitch to Nakagawa. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we said, we're getting into the deep water in this one as we are in the 9th inning. Runners are at first and second. There are 2 gone here in the top of the 9th. As the lefty Kubo delivers a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to short. It is fielded by the shortstop. A really gutsy play as he had to go into the 6th hole, did Nagioka, and he throws it to the third baseman Murakami for the force at third. It's going to go down as a fielder's choice if you're scoring at home. It is going to retire Oda over at third, 6-5 for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here. A nice heads-up play by the shortstop. Probably had no chance to make the play over at first. Well, they got a couple of runs in the inning, did the Buffaloes. They had 2 runs on the benefit of 2 hits. There was an error, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 9th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 3 and the Tokyo Yakult Swallows, no score. Stick around, everybody. Jacob Waguespack is coming into the game to try to close this one out. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Swallows batting order to come to bat to face Jacob Waguespack. That means Tetsuda Yamada, Minataka Murakami, and Jose Osuna to face the American right-hander in the 9th. Well, for Yamada tonight, he is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field, and he has walked his other 2 trips to the plate. So he is going to be batting here against the big right-handed, hard-throwing Waguespack. Waguespack began the season with the Buffaloes as a starter, and they moved him into the pen toward the end. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yamada. Yamada on the series is 2 for 20. As Waguespack delivers a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Aggie's back, rocking into the motion and delivering. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow left field. Moving over underneath it is Yoshida, and he makes the catch. And one up and one away, and that will bring up the third baseman, Munetaka Murakami. Well, the series slump continues for Yamada as he ends up going down there again, 2 for 21. Oh boy, would not have expected that from the great second baseman of the Swallows. Well, Murakami steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 officially tonight. He also has a couple of walks, so he is 4 for 21 on the series. So Waguespack gets his side from Fushimi, and he delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside for ball one. The count's 1-0. I wonder if that's tactically something that they do. There is a defensive replacement. Looks like there was a couple of defensive replacements. I thought it was probably Yoshida in the game, but it looks like they have a new left fielder. As that last fastball misses down, and the count is now 2-0 to Murakami. The Swallows are going to need some instant runs. They're down by 3 here in the ninth inning, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Murakami. Waguespack wasting no time. He delivers a fastball that drops in for a called strike, and the count's now 2-2. Unlike some relievers, they take forever. Waguespack wastes no time. He gets the ball. He's ready to go again. And here's the offering. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And Murakami goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. Well, 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Jose Osuna. Well, for Osuna tonight, he is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice and bounced into a fielder's choice. And just as a reminder, be sure to hang around with us after the game. We'll give you the scoring recap, let you know about all the pieces in this one, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. But that is how it's looking right now as Osuna comes to the plate with 2 gone. Waguespack delivers a first pitch fastball. It's swung on. It is grounded to second. Fielded by Adachi. He throws to first. And that is going to do it. It is in the books as the Buffaloes have got themselves a victory. And that will do it here. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Our friend Tin Win has done the job. He made the right call, and he knows who was the winner. As the Buffaloes have now shut out the Swallows 3-0. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back for just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. And we thank you again for listening in. We'll be right back in 30 to recap all the stuff for you. First off, I want to thank everybody for listening in tonight and hanging with us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and come on back again tomorrow night. We'll call it again until this series wraps up. It is now a 3-2-1 lead for the Buffaloes as one more win and it'll be all over. So tonight, just a quick scoring recap, pretty quick. It was only the 6th and the 9th innings when the Buffaloes got all their runs. In the top of the 6th inning, a leadoff single by Ryo Oda. He was sacked to second by Yuma Mune, and after Kai Nakagawa popped out to the catcher, Masataka Yoshida was potentially walked, and Yataro Sugimoto did the deal. He drove home Ryo Oda with a base hit single to open the scoring at 1-0. That's the way the scoring stayed until we got to the 9th inning. And then it was Ryo Adachi who stepped up to the plate, who led off with a single. And then Kentaro Kobayashi hit a little squibbler, and Kobayashi, had bunted the ball down the first base line, and they threw wildly to first at Scott McGuff. Ball went into the right field corner. Adachi scored all the way from first. Kobayashi went all the way around to third. And that put the score line up at 2-0. Well, after a Tori Fushimi pop out to first, it was Masahiro Nishino who stepped to the plate, hit a sacrifice fly to drive in Kobayashi with the third run of the game. And that is where it finished. Again, your final score was 3-0 for the Buffaloes. And that is the way this game is ended. Want everybody else, whether it be Javier Hernandez, John Cardona, Mick, Ice Hockey, Tin Win, everybody else that listened in tonight who I missed, appreciate you guys for being here. Iowa Nick, thanks for hanging here. And Tim, everybody else who was here, if I missed you, I apologize for that. Our friend Undrafted Player. Have a great night, everybody. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. It'll be Game 7 in the series. The Buffaloes will look to close it out. If not, it'll be an 8th game on Monday. And who knows from there. Once again, it's another Last Raps Baseball video production. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you again on the flip side.